Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I can't hear you. There's nothing. No sound.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Irish
Yeah.
tickler.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Walt, what's happening? Definitely been a minute. How about now? I'm turning all these up.
There's nothing.
Hey. Trying to get our audio.
It's a process. I mean, can you hear me? Then let's get this show started.
Alrighty then. We're getting this show started. Transition. Oh man, the light is hitting me right now. I thought the sun was gonna kind of move out the way, but it was not like this 2 seconds ago. But either way, I'm a glowing ball of light this episode. And Luna, you want to say something? Just a little something to mic.
Oh, hi.
There.
Mic test or?
Yeah, it was mic test.
Mic test. 1, 2, 3.
All right, and you can't hear a thing.
No.
Let's try different headphones. There's some. Oh, those were the different headphones.
I mean, I can hear you.
Woof.
It's,
Woof. All right, well then, there you go.
I'm down to go with the flow.
Yeah, we're figuring it out. We'll have a little breaker tins, fix the audio tins. Right now, dogs are getting plenty excited. Our first live back as a fam group, whatever you want to call it.
What do you call it?
The Freewater family. Check out the logo and check out our t-shirts. Ooh. Booyah. Boom. Available now at freewaterfamily.com. All right. Did you put Dabbies in here?
Mm-hmm.
You did? All right. So we're just going to vibe out for a second.
He's got to stand on his balls. I'm also gonna pull up our podcast. See when's the last time we posted. So search Freewater. Hey, would you look at that? We're the first Freewater that comes up on Apple Podcasts, right? Really interesting. Click on the Freewater Family Podcast. Wow, the last episodes were uploaded in January. A year ago. And those were a little bit... Oh, I uploaded the one from 11/11. Did you cut your hair, Luna? The people want to know. I did.
Ooh, she did. How was it done?
Scissors. A decision. And there you go.
So why'd you cut your hair?
Because I wanted to. Literally. It just, like, I had you know, when you learn something, life teaches you something and you learn, and then you either, you have that, like, fork in the road where you apply that information, or you continue. You don't have to change, you don't have to evolve, you can stay the same. And I wanted to cut my hair, and I realized in that moment, whenever I want to do something, I like check to see, like, with other people, should I do this thing? And I didn't really feel like checking with anyone because no one's living my life. No one is living my life. No one is there but me at the end of the day. So if I want to cut my hair, I'm going to cut my hair. And I learned through all these experiences, because people will give you whatever opinion. You know, don't cut your hair because there is innate wisdom, or cut your hair because as we detox, where do you think all the detox stuff goes? It goes into your hair. So then you're carrying around, like, chemicals and things that you've, like, released from your body. It's like, I feel like we're here to play with this whole, like, spiritual beings in a human body and have fun with it. So literally put 2 ponytails up and snap, like, there was a lot. And it felt, honestly, it felt amazing. It felt like a whole person just, you know, left. So here we are. Would you cut your hair and start over?
My hair falls out naturally, so.
Well, that's not the question.
Would I cut my hair?
Yeah.
I cut my beard. Of course.
Is that evading?
Your mustache is cute. I don't hear people saying, "Oh, what's going on here?" No, I'm playing. I like my hair. I would dye it, you know. I was thinking about trimming it, but I don't know. I just don't. I feel like, I think the difference for myself is growing up the way I did in the community of getting haircuts like every 2 weeks. The people are loving it. Die by decisions, right? Don't die by this sexy haircut, right? Whoa. Of like getting faded and all that stuff. Like, it's so freeing for me to be able to just have my hair, you know? And it's just like, it does its thing. I don't have to brush it. I don't have to comb it. Oh, there we go. Look how good we look up there on the GoPro. Hi, GoPro.
I don't have a microphone on my face.
Well, we both do. We're on a podcast.
But would you cut it? Is it part of your identity? Because that's, I would say, most people, they're not going to cut their hair because they're very much attached to the image that their hair provides. Or they hide behind their hair sometimes.
I understand people, like, if I've been growing my hair out for like a long time, it is like that's been like my whole existence, not just this part of my life, but like the whole part. And hair is just a hair. Like, for me, like, I don't know, I get so much pleasure out of my hair in like small ways, like the fact that I can use it as a pillow, or the fact that we've gotten, I don't know, I put it over like this, like, And I do understand where people say like it holds the power and stuff like that, and I definitely feel all that. There was a point where I was like, "Oh, I'm not even going to shave my beard," but you know, that I wouldn't say like necessarily compromised on, but I feel like there's plenty of time for me to get a beard. When I'm older, my beard grows so much faster than my hair. Well, my hair grows pretty fast. Like, if anyone's been around, been seeing the progression of my bangs, they grow pretty fast. You know, that one person we talked to last year, they said they were growing their hair for 5 years, and it was like up to here. So, I think that's cool. If I had like a really good reason, like I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like if it was like if I could then cut my hair, I wouldn't do that. But we're having a good time. I do a hair flip, but it's in a ponytail.
I feel like it's such a it's just hair. You give power to things, so
yeah, I mean,
you're cool with whatever you're doing.
Why would I have to cut my hair though?
You don't. It's just a question.
Yeah, so I'm saying like
and or is it attached to your identity, like of who you are? Because I've grown up, I've had long hair, the same thing my whole life. But
and that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. You've had long hair your whole life. I had short hair my whole life. I had to go to a barbershop every 2 weeks. That's like a thing in the community. You gotta.
What community? The
black community. You gotta keep your hair short. You gotta make sure you have a haircut. You gotta brush your hair. You can't have nappy hair. You know, gets to the points of like, oh, you trying to do waves. Like.
What about like other men outside the black community? Do they have to get haircuts?
I don't know about other men outside the black community. I didn't grow up in their communities. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know. If, let's say someone, let's say, I don't know, growing up, though, all right, here's the thing, right? So when I did grow my hair out when I was younger, I was a freshman in high school, and I'd be at the metal shows all the time, and, like, everyone's headbanging and their hair is flying all over the place. I thought it was so cool, so I started growing my hair out, and Travis McCoy, gym class heroes at the time. Folks, all right, there you go. All right, so that was like a big thing at the time. So when everything happened between like my mom and stuff, and I ended up moving to Atlanta, the first thing my dad did was take me to the barbershop. So I never really got past a little fro because that wasn't supported growing up. Like if you had a fro, you were like kind of doing. I don't even think locks were really a thing too much when I was growing up. Like people didn't really do those too much. Everybody was, do rags, fades, get the waves, wavy hair, you know. You might get some braids, but I didn't like the idea of braiding because it seemed like it hurt. So no one really enjoyed getting braids, it looked like. So that's why I'm like, well, breathe. If we put it in perspective, if I've been alive for almost 30 years and I've been growing my hair out for 5 or 6, and I've been cutting my hair, every 2 weeks, month, whatever like that, this is still relatively new lifestyle of having long hair, so it hasn't really even started like impacting me too much until you get the bangs and you got the bangs in your face and stuff like that, because it wasn't doing that before. I would forget. It feels the same as if you have a fro, it's just like you scratch your hair. So now when I go lay down, I got a natural pillow. It was a ritual for me. Release it. Attachment to toxic habits and behaviors. Felt so freeing in the moment, but I regretted it probably because I missed it. Well, that's what, if that's what, for me, my hair is a symbol of my positive behavior. Now, if we're cutting toxic behavior, then, you know, I understand that as well. Not that is it, again, you can do whatever you want. It's just, I feel that what's been said is like, oh, I'm cutting my hair is because I'm releasing, you know, this, and this. Since I've been growing my hair, that's been more of a symbol of me, you know, releasing my older self, you know, like the things. Me growing my hair is when I started going out into the woods, and I lived on a mountain for quite some time. Like, personally, if I feel like I cut my hair, that would be like, why are you doing that? Because now it seems like you're more trying to conform, whether it is for a job or whether it is people, you know, whatever pressure that may lead to. And, you know, Damian Marley put his hair in a backpack when he was playing soccer. I saw it on YouTube or Insta, something like that. Embracing your strengths, right? Now I'm growing again, and I don't plan to cut it again because of the connection I felt towards the memories that were stored there. Now, we can make new memories, and, you know, either way, you know, as long as you're not being forced to, no one, that's where I feel the organization or the group gets along, because it's not like, oh, because there's communities, right, where you have to shave every day, right? You have to.
Oh, like the military?
The military.
Or jobs.
Jobs.
Like,
you have to.
I have, what's it called? I have frizzy hair, I guess. It's not really, like, tame by any means. And it's not really curly. It's, like, whatever. It's its own thing. And then depending on the weather, it does its own thing. And I went to a job where they were, like, she straight up said to me, I had my professional hair or whatever, and she was like, oh, look, the little lizard. It's like, I'm in this. She told me I had to do something with the frizz. And it's like such a, but that's my hair.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So like you're saying, the communities, like, where you have to, like be clean cut or whatever the hell that means to whomever, but continue.
That's pretty much, that's where I feel, like you said, you've had long hair majority, or, you know, for a good part of your life.
Yeah.
So this, doing something like this, you know, is interesting, and that's where, hey, Cricket, what's happening, right? And Cricket's here to talk about hair. So how long you've been growing your hair, and would you cut it? Are there any substances or what's the word? Circumstances. Thank you. Hey, Momo, Aqua Gang, shouts out. Momo knows me when I have the short hair. Momo knows what I'm talking about. LOL, you're cute. It's super cute. And Mr. Freer, long hair is dope on you. Right, and it's Freer, you know, it's like a whole, hey, baby face going up. Shouts out to the fam, right? Let's go.
The whole point is, like, you get to do whatever you want. It has to, you had to be happy with what you're doing. Like, if you like long hair and you want a pillow, cool. You don't even have to do long hair like this. You can do long hairs by whatever things, but don't. This is the thing, because a lot of people, even when I did it, were like telling me their things, and I'm just kind of like, but I already did it. I already made my decision. But it's cool. We can listen to each other. We don't have to enforce each other's like beliefs or stories, because that's, at the end of the day, that's all they are, is stories. A belief is nothing more than a thought that you gave a lot of time and effort to, and you have to be cool with your story. And like you said, when you're moving forth with intention, like when you started growing your hair and you started living by your own decisions and in awareness, like, I just find, like, I like the symbology of the haircut, because I feel like I don't have baggage. I don't have I'm not holding on to the past. I know what happened in the past. We hold on to the scars, we pick at them, we hold on to like the bags and the stuff, and then if you're just like in the moment and you're content, and you know where you're going, you're trusting in the universe, you're trusting in yourself. there's like, it's just a whole different level where you can talk to people who have completely different, like they can say, I never cut my hair. No one ever cut their hair from birth, to the opposite of people who are completely hairless. You know, and everyone can just be in the same room and smoke a joint or not, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to be comfortable in your own skin, mm-hmm. comfortable in your own decisions, comfortable in like be able, sometimes people, you can't even ask them. I ask all the time, like, why? Not because I'm trying to like pick apart their whatever, but just like, because many times we don't stop to ask ourselves why we continue to do something, or why, you know, like, is it a decision? Like, remember when I met you and I didn't eat cheesecake?
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
I didn't eat cheesecake because my whole life, my family, they didn't like cheesecake. They didn't like cheese with sweet things. And so I like took that on also. And how many times do we do that with like political things or religious things or even customs? Like you get together for maybe the holidays and it kind of sucks, or you're like pretending for like that one day. But like yesterday was literally like every other day. We like get together for dinner or whatever. You know, we just spend time together making art, creating, hanging out outside in nature, with like doing what we want with each other. And it's not like we don't need a holiday to do that.
Boom.
Free water family.
Free water family. And
maybe, I don't know if you even like, do we want to
talk about what? We're going to talk about everything. This is...
I don't know how in depth you want to go.
A podcast in one could say a year. We haven't.
Wait, you're recording a podcast? You're not? I thought that's what the roadcasters.
That's what I totally was supposed to be doing that.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I can do it now. So that was the little warm up.
And here we go. Boom. Thank you for joining.
And it's on YouTube, so I can download it. But boom, here we are, our official. Thank you for listening on all platforms. Shouts out to Anchor for making it super easy for us to upload.
They actually are, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about free water is like I only promote things that I actually like use, and if you know me, like live by, and then I'm like really excited to share it. And things like free water. And Willie's here too. Look, he's like, I want to come. What were you eating?
Willie's here. We're gonna have some questions for William. Soon, everyone is going to be a nice podcast. There's no time limits on Instagram nor YouTube anymore.
Hey, this is all we got to do.
This is all we got to do. It's a good whatever day. I want a shirt. You can get a shirt. freewaterfamily.com. And you guys have to get a shirt. The reason we're getting back into things. It's very transitional. We're going to explain a lot. But freewaterfamily.com. And if you even, I'm going, some things are up because I do the website, and I'm just going to give you a little secret. Some things are up, right, that are coming out next season, next drop. So if you guys were to hurry up and skedaddle and even order some stuff, maybe a t-shirt, and I won't say what it is because that's only for the people who are watching live, and I'm going to update this and all that stuff.
So they're getting something for free? What are you saying?
No, what I'm saying is they have the opportunity to even order. What's going on, Fernando? Shouts out to the West Coast. What's happening? Hey, if you're still out there, we're in the world. I'm just saying, you know, that's why I was talking about. We got to be outside. We got to be outside meeting folks, but and doing shows because it's fun. And that's how I met Fernando. I think it was a college show. Shouts out to that. But either way, you can get a t-shirt. This is a heart chakra t-shirt because it covers your heart chakra. So this is how big we want our heart chakra. We want our heart chakra nice and big.
Very interesting.
And in various colors. I chose to get green to represent, you know, chakra for myself. I just thought it was good. Pink and green. And we also have available, since we're on the topic, this awesome limited edition hoodie. Right, super limited, super edition, right, with the free water right there, and it's got a little surprise on the sleeve. So go and check that out.
freewaterfamily.com. And I'm gonna give myself a round of applause for
Yeah, he put all that together. The merch looks really good, and the promotion.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm not ashamed to say, give myself a thank you, because we're hanging in there, right?
Yeah.
A lot of Google videos, right? Lots of YouTube.
And it looks good.
Lots
so
of
check
tutorials.
out the merch, buy
So we're figuring it
something,
out.
supports love and light. Truly, when you spend money with the intent, it's the intention. Because a lot of people will even say, I don't give money to people on the street because they'll use it for whatever. It doesn't matter what they use it for. If you give out of your heart space because you're overflowing and you feel like giving, whatever they do, then moving forward, that's not your problem. You did the damn thing, and you're spreading love and light in the world, especially money on this earth, because we put such importance into it, and it comes back around tenfold. So just have that awareness when you spend. You'll feel it.
Abundance. Going around
So are they getting
tenfold.
something for free, or why?
Yeah.
What were you saying?
They about to get these rhymes for free. What's happening? What's happening? Yeah. Yeah. Abundance. Coming tenfold. Yeah, man.
Oh, the heart space.
Hey.
So it's really interesting because on Saturdays, you might see me at the Groovy Grove at the farmer's market here in Coconut Grove. And there's this person who is like such a beautiful person, beautiful light, very attractive, magnetic. And they're like right there, like, there's like everything they want, and like, but their heart is closed. And your heart, like if your heart space is closed, you can't receive or give. Like you're blocking your own flow. It might look like, you might have everything, but that feeling like, that feeling it ain't like,
When your heart's open.
when your heart's open or closed.
Yeah, at nighttime. It really be.
I feel like that's where you feel,
It'd be like, ooh, middle of the night. You're like, ooh, I want to love everything. Or you're like, I'm really hurt about this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We understand. Yo comprendo. Sí, muy bueno.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Y
Yeah, and I could just.
what's on the agenda? Well, let's the first podcast since January. It says
Enero.
So I guess let's get caught up to.
I do my own sound effects, so there we go.
Yeah, we gotta add the new. Oh, since you've been here.
Since you've been gone.
Here, you can put on the headphones
Why?
and you can.
I love the new Roadcaster. So you get. I feel like in this company we can give out coupons for blowjobs. You get 2 coupons.
Let's make it 3. Let's see how many coupons I can get this live show, guys.
Oh, there's other coupons.
There's
They're
other
not all
coupons. All right, let's see how many coupons we can get total.
Do you want to work for free?
We'll put it on the list. If you guys want to work for Free Water, please let us know. We're looking for editors. We're looking for Photoshop, graphic designers. There we go. Editors,
digital art creators,
people who know how to operate or want to learn how to operate equipment like the drone. Let's say you want to grab the camera right there.
Person, or
Is it possible? I want to work for Free Water.
Of course
So
you do.
boom. So Luna. All right. So I think
yeah.
I think holding the camera
Well, yeah.
puts us back to when we first got it around Bob Moore's birthday. Well, it was on my birthday. February 6th.
My
But
brother's
around then, right? Yo, what's happening? Also, if you make beats, We're
If
putting
you're a
together.
creator
Luna's
of
even
any
been
kind-
getting on the track.
If you're a creator of any kind, really.
William, he got on the track too. So you
Young
guys,
William.
you guys could hear it on the sneak preview because I gave you guys a little sneak preview. It wasn't like mixed and mastered and all that stuff. But yeah, we've been creating and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely send us a DM and we'll get started.
And we'll send you the application.
For graphic design, I think that can be a stationary thing. Editing, maybe. But we're really looking for people who are down to travel. Obviously, if you know the Freewater family.
Or stationary, whatever works.
Yeah, stationary. That's the thing.
Literally,
we're looking for
we
both.
We can make everything work.
We can make it work.
If you feel this is where you trust
really,
your intuition,
if
and
we
you
can
go.
get a camera person on the Gizzy,
and the most important thing is,
or be able to exchange hard drives.
You're down with it. Like you're
Yeah,
actually
you gotta
gonna
be
do
down.
it because
we're
very
holding higher
easygoing, and
standards.
we're not about to be your boss. Like you either show up and vibe, or
I'll be
there's
lost.
other jobs where people will babysit you.
Yeah, we just want things done. That's it. We're not micromanagers.
we're
We're
not.
macro managers. We're gonna be like, hey, here's what we need. Get her done.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Aaron. So Aaron's out in SD. Another reason we gotta.
Nice.
We got some things we're announcing later. And it's Andrea. Okay, so now we don't have the bam bam bams. You want to know why?
Because Baron, you hear that? You hear the voice of the effects in the microphone.
Yeah. If you guys want to hear what it is I'm even talking about, you want to check out the YouTube. But if you're cozy on Instagram, check it out later. Big robot voice, large robot voice. You have to talk like you can't hear us and what? That's crazy. Shouts out to SD in the building. But for real though, like, okay, here's the thing. Since we're on this topic, alright, I'm talking like talk like a robot, like in this talking like a robot. Free water, family network, free water, family network, yeah. I can do a little editing too by messing it like, okay, so here's the thing. If we want to learn, here we what we're looking, alright, it's hard to do the robot voice and talk you want to tell the people everything in the robot voice. Well, now if you're interested in a job, and you're interested in and you have your robot voice. You gotta say things for the robot voice. I'm gonna say robot things only. I am the fun robot. No more work. A positive poor connection. Also, people who are down. Yeah, it just froze a little bit. The vibes are hot. Yeah, the vibes are getting there. It's a real thing. Alright, that's fun for something else.
Because it's not fair to the.
I do it for the tarot readings.
It's not fair to the YouTube people. Hey, what's up?
Hey, no, we got people to tune in. We got Insta and we have the Free Water Family
whatever
Network.
it is like you want to do, like truly just send us a message and we'll be able to figure things out, because like whatever it is you want to do, we help everyone. Like we share the love on all fronts. Like even if you just want to create or shoot and all that. I love all the little lizards that just
Like
keep
imagine
watching
someone
us.
taking pictures of us while we're doing this and then they upload it to the Free Water Family Instagram.
Or if you like to write, if you like to blog or vlog, or you want to get into this and you actually like are down to learn, it's not hard. I've learned mostly everything.
If you know how to wrap cables, yeah.
Yeah. And just be honest. Like this is the place to be honest about what you like to do, because if you don't like to do something, it's going to show in your actions, and we're very energy obvious. So.
All right. Let's go back to the... Of course.
But
it
you
came
don't
on
have-
it. It came on it.
But you
Before
don't-
it didn't come on it. Now, with the Rodecaster Pro 2,
It's beautiful. I love the colors.
Not an ad, but it is an ad if they want to send me another Rodecaster. I don't know.
It's nice, but make it come with all the sounds.
Well, we have to put all the sounds on. We can upload hella sounds now. Oh, there's a third page. Oh, I forgot I put some sounds on. I be so productive that I forget how productive I be. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got some good sounds, huh? We got some. We'll survive. You know, if we have. And.
Okay.
Boom. All right. So let's get to why we're here, folks. So we did our cool little ads and we're recording. Let's get people caught up of the past year. Maybe we can start a little bit before, right? When we picked the camera up and got the trailer. You want to start there or January?
You go. There's
so much to happen.
Exactly.
Hola! Thanks for joining us on YouTube. This is such a vibe, isn't it? Hey, best late morning show. This is
what you wanted. So why don't you just talk about how you manifested this and why? Isn't that why you're here?
That I manifested the
late morning show. You've been talking about it for forever. And sometimes it's nice to stop and see how we have the things we've put the energy into, you know. We're in a beautiful space, in the shade and outside. We got the pups around us. Everyone, all the dogs.
Let them know.
You know, we got some beverages. We have some herb.
Yeah,
you have all the... Look at all this. All the cameras. The new Rodecaster.
Mm-hmm.
Your tarot cards. Your camera. An awesome audience that shows up every time.
Yeah, shouts out to you guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, taking a second to, I guess, give thanks.
And the fact that we're even sitting together, who would have thunk like a month ago, 3 weeks ago, you know? So.
we gotta adjust those. But, yeah. You know, you're stumped when I stop talking for a little bit. Well, I'm stumped. Because it's cool. It's
feeling's part of it.
It's even, there's small things. I just want to say on YouTube, look at this shit. Right? The fact that we can do this thing, right? Look at the fucking transition, right? How cool is that? And then we go back to the live stream, right? If you're on YouTube, you get to see that. The fact that we can be on Instagram with phones that aren't cracked and
really
held together by duct tape.
Actually, they're actually made with quartz crystals. So if you know the power of crystals, you are using it every single day. That's how powerful. The fact that Apple, everyone, they're using quartz to make your phone. That is how powerful these crystals are that we use and wear. So tap in.
Yeah, tap in.
Arisito.
Here, and he made it onto the YouTube. And I would move the camera, but when I move the camera on Instagram, it says all sorts of things. It's Sag season, so we're back in Sag season. Scorpio season was, here's the thing about Scorpio season. I think we're gonna explain things like a Quentin Tarantino movie and just different parts at different times, and eventually it's all going to come together in the end, and you watch it back a couple times, it'll make sense, and then you'll be the smart one from understanding what's going on. So this Scorpio season, a lot of times we kind of run from our emotions and get bummed that we're feeling them, and instead of working through them, we kind of find new ways to
avoid them and things like that. Suppress all that.
That's what like depression is. You're holding in the energy instead of letting it out.
So much sand on you.
I know. I don't know why they all have sand on them. What are you guys getting into? And that is like the biggest cause of disease in the body that later manifests into physical symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So when we feel things, it's best to just like feel them and know that that isn't really us. They're just experiences.
That's a big one, having it be an experience, and that's what I feel the past year was an experience. Good, bad.
It was a lot of things learned.
Yeah.
Like at the end of it, it's just a lot of things learned, and if we take out our judgment, it helps us so much because we judge you, we judge me, we judge ourselves, we then learn something and then rejudge the whole thing over again. And if we just take it out and learn, okay, where do I want to go? What did this teach me? What did this show me? What did this show me about myself? What did this show me about others? How I work in this game of life? And then what steps can I now make to move forward to what I want? And can I admit to myself what I want? Because that's also a big thing, I would say. And I have like a quick way to incorporate the camera last year and whatever. So I knew how to use a basic camera-ish. I didn't really know how to use, I didn't really.
That one's a high level. It's a prime lens.
With
so
the
people
ISO
know how to,
and like the lighting, all the little gadgets and things. Like maybe
prime lens gang shoddy.
I figured out how to use them, but like intentionally, and then like, under a circumstance where you have to get the shot, like with Victor from Detroit.
Oh yeah.
Getting that shot.
It was kind of
like,
sink or swim. I'm not gonna lie.
If I didn't get that
is one
shot,
of the
I would be
hardest things
fired.
you would.
They would have probably thrown me in the river because he was. So Victor on TV.
Yeah, Victor on TV.
He
him?
was
He's
a
on
hippie
TV.
jump.
He did a hippie
Yo,
jump.
I know what a hippie
over
jump
a
is.
free water board, by the way.
Do I get coupons here? Or like,
yeah, for sure. You can
like,
coupons for the hippie jump and the photo, which came out phenomenal.
Okay.
So,
he had to. If you don't know what a hippie jump is, he had to jump over. It was a cone.
A skateboard.
You
were holding a free water
skateboard.
board. She got the shot.
He's jumping, and the board keeps going under, and it was cold as hell. We were in Detroit, but did we get the shot? Everyone was there. Chief was there. Aries was there. Victor, Premier, that guy Premier. He's really cool.
Mr. Brevia.
Oh, I think there were other skateboarders there, but
Mackenzie, what's happening?
Yeah, so that was like really.
Shouts out to Sacramento holding it down.
She's actually in Mexico now.
I know, but there was something about the Sacramento Kings. She posted something about. We got shouts out Sacramento and Mexico.
And
you
Mexico.
already know. Do you have free water skateboards? Do we have free water skateboards coming soon on the website?
Site?
They're not on the site just yet.
Okay.
Because we're making sure that.
And if you like any of our
perfect.
film photos, we can put that special on a skateboard for you.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to do a shoot and you want your picture on a photo, we also provide that experience.
Sacramento. Yeah. Well, so how's Sacramento? How's it going? Cheeks and Chong. What a name. What a name. We have free water skateboards. All right, so I guess I can't go too much into free water details right now on live with the skateboards, but we do have the merch up. Skateboards are going to be coming soon. Really soon. Really soon. So be on the lookout for that, and they're going to be amazing. They're good. They're good boards. They're just good boards, and we have our photos on them. And we're designing a board that we can donate the people as well. So that's we're working on it. What are we doing? We're working on it. But right now, we got the gear up, and we've been taking time just for family stuff. So
just spending time together. I think that's, even with the van being towed, fun story, right?
That was a test.
And this is when I guess I knew things were different, that we made it through that. And I think, what?
I mean, not everyone. I feel like you have to kind of like give some context at some
Well,
point.
I'm getting there. I said I was going to tell like a Quentin Tarantino story. You got to start a little bit here. Like we're watching the Jeffrey Dahmer movie thing, and there was a little bit here, and she's about to open a sheet, and then they go, "Oh, whoa, this is where'd they go?" Now they're in 1991. Where'd they go? We were in 1987. Now we're in 1981. Now we're in 1973. Like what's going on here, right? But at the end, it'll make sense. Hopefully. No promises. I'm an Aquarius, right? It might be like the show Lost. We're just watching and then there's no payoff. So don't no. Just kidding. But yeah, let's show the gear one more time. And then I guess the big things that we learned is how to work together. And learning, listening to each other. Also, something Luna mentioned, the scabs of before, and that I feel that just in short, before we get into all the details on my side, I guess I can speak for, is that holding on to all these things in the past, even though we say we moved on, and being honest when we're both go people and the world is kind of like go, and not to like be like egotistical or something, but it's hard to get a moment for yourself when you're building community, and when you're like light beings, to where like you can just be at a gas station having a conversation trying to get away, and then people come up and then they start talking to you. There was one time we were in the bathroom having a conversation, remember that? And then they came through the window. They were like, hey.
I mean, with higher awareness comes a lot of responsibility. So if that's not the life for you, then that's fine, you know.
Rockstar
but once you
lifestyle.
have that awareness, you do have the responsibility of this information.
It is super cute.
And that's where we like you're saying, it feels like it's tedious, it weighs on you, you feel the pressure, but that's also, it's not fully integrated, and it's a beautiful process. And I feel like that's part of our true work at this moment, like on a soul level, is helping build the grid for everyone to come together and exist on that frequency.
Yeah, I feel personally that's where, even just saying that, I feel like my frequency just goes up. Like you feel it go bing, like sun comes out a little bit more, because it's like before when I started out, and that's what's interesting of documenting this whole journey of kind of, all right, I don't give a fuck about anything. I'm just, holding down the vibe. I'm the 5D and this and this and this. And then it was like I was saying earlier today about being on top of the mountain, and then it's like, all right, let's go back out. And that even goes to the hair thing, because my hair, when I grab it, I can kind of like remember, all the things that I've been through, like finding a twig or something. I'm like, okay, like, of course you used to sleep outside, for real. Like, like this situation, whatever situation we're in now, like the fact that you were saying like, yo, you got a roadcaster, you got this, you got that.
You have a nice new
we
roadcaster.
got a nice new.
That makes you robotic.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun with that later.
We're gonna have you have, I mean, look where we are later, we're house sitting, but we have a space for ourselves to be able to share these vibes with everyone here.
And sometimes like stopping is I mean, that's like the, what are you doing?
I mean, stopping's like the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
We like don't get off that like gratification of doing something just to do something. At least that's where I've noticed. The more I stop and just really hone in on my energy, the more I can hit the target with minimum effort. But that's just me. Everyone is having their own experience. Some people, like, you know, when you met me and when we were like bringing up the whole camera thing, I learned by like bumping my head and getting cuts and bruises, and then other people showed me, hey, there's different ways to learn, and you can choose to continue to learn in that way if you want. Like in life, everyone gets from point A to point B. You can manifest your worst nightmare, or you can manifest the most fun way, or whatever way you want. And a lot of the last 2 years has shown me how the biggest problem was like accepting how powerful we really are and how much responsibility we do have in our atmosphere, in our environment, and focusing on what we can do or what we can influence. Really, that's where I feel like it's either reciprocated because you're in the flow with yourself.
Hey, kill me.
And I lost my train of thought. So.
Well, the energy being reciprocated.
Oh yeah, because oftentimes we'll just give energy to things that are not relationships or hobby, work. We put so much emphasis on work. We don't even like it. We don't even want to be there. We then manifest sickness, so then we don't have to go to work. But then it's a whole headache. That's another whole headache. And you're not even allotted time. They don't care enough about you for you to be like, yo, I just can't do it. Being human is hard. I have a whole freaking family. You know, like all the things of being here in this existence. And they don't really care at the end of the day.
That should be a valid. I took mushrooms last night and the world is fake. And it should be like, all right, you get a day or two. Like, just.
Right. But they don't, that's not really their.
Yeah, no.
It's not where they thrive. And so finding like places where you can exist and you can create and manifest resources for your family or your community in a way that does not compromise on your mind, body, and spirit, because it is very possible and it is very much happening. And now it's, okay, let's work together because we all understand we need each other. And I think that was a huge lesson I also learned. If you're in this illusion that we're separate, or you can ghost people or block them, or like if something negative happens and then it's like, you don't exist anymore. Like I didn't know how long it would take for this to happen, but I knew it was going to happen. Whether 7,000 lifetimes from now or I knew. I stopped with the whole, I hate you, we broke up, all those things, because I know that this is just miscommunicated love. And it was just like, there was a knot in our energy thing, and it was really just allowing for the healing to happen, the experiences to happen, and just trusting that, like when I met you and I threw the crystal, you gave me the crystal, and it was hard for me to throw it into the ocean, but I trusted that if this was for real, then like it would happen. I can't negate it. If you keep coming into my reality, Mr. Freewater, and then I found a bigger crystal with a rainbow in it. How crazy is that? And here we are. And I just know that with communication, understanding, patience, like we can really, I know that sounds ultra hippie, but it's true. So yup.
Yeah. I feel recently it's been like they said something like you go through something one time, you experience it. Go through something 10 times, you like
learn it, go through something 100 times, like you actually know it. Or I'll look up the actual quote, so don't necessarily.
So it's a process from
it's
like
a process.
experience to learning and being aware.
Can someone look that up for the kid?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Help a player out with the actual quote. But I heard it in Overwatch. Either way,
it's art. You know, people express themselves through these means, like Avatar. I've healed so much from that show that I know the energy, whoever put their like passion into it, their energy into it, that show is amazing. And
The Last Airbender, by the way, just saying.
So
that I had to soak in the scene for a second. I'm like, holy fuck, this does look amazing. Someone, Andrea, mentioned that, and it was like, yeah, it does look good.
There's a fountain. It's pretty chill.
Yeah, it's super chill.
It's really
we done made it work.
And here's the thing: 3 days ago, or however many days, because what is time? We were in the van. Okay, so
I thought I would never see the sun again.
If you want like a snip, like just like most friends, partnerships, whatever, we've had misunderstandings, and a lot has happened in the last like 2 years, especially the last year. I mean, who hasn't been going through it? We're all going through it. We might have different players or a different, color grid, but we're all going through it, and we all feel collectively kind of the same thing. So we've been going through it, and I feel that what happened was we kind of like on a soul level realized, okay, we do care about each other, and we want to kind of figure this out, and we do have the same like soul purpose and mission. And so we've come together, and we're still like on a soul level, we like understand each other. Then the human aspect has to catch up. And that's where like letting go of a lot of like the ego things of holding on to the physical, and allowing, because when we let it go, we can then make room for more shit to come in. And that can mean with anything, like letting go of people, or even energetically the way we want it to work out, or the way things were. Because if we keep in that same energy, I might say the same thing I said in the past. And if you think we are in that past situation, you are then going to act out of your past self. Thus, then we are both acting out of the past, recreating the past again, solidifying that energy. And instead of blocking each other and canceling each other, we realize that's a bunch of BS, because we're all love, we are all one, there is no other. We're all in this together. And then holding space for the newness. And I feel like that's where I learned a lot of patience and compassion, and like just letting go of getting mad. And it's just, we're figuring it out. If we're all hurting each other, then why don't we stop? And then just be like, okay, maybe they're trying to figure it out. Like whatever experience they're having, let's learn and ask questions and help each other, or just live our own lives and stand in our own lane and get our own shit right.
And that's something, it's like the science, like scientific method. Like you're doing experiments and shit. And
thesis or your hypothesis.
Yeah.
You seek out to like prove it, but then you have to be open to your hypothesis being wrong. A lot of people are like so stuck on like for me, like the whole just being attracted to other people outside of men, that was so ingrained that I didn't even consider, even though my whole life I said if Selma Hayek was to cross my path. And it's just like, what is a lesbian? A woman attracted to another woman. So why, like where was the thing? And so it's like letting go of that ideology of like, trying on for size. That doesn't even make sense. Or like when you explained to me polyamory, I'm like, yeah, I love all the people I've been in relationships with. The love doesn't stop just because we might not see each other. The love flow continues. I don't take my love back. And then we're going to continue loving more and more people as we continue to like experience and be on this earth. Like, you know, isn't that what abundance is? We're not like just allotted this amount of love that we can give to one person. Where is that in like the true spiritual text?
Yo, no say.
And then, can I say one last thing, and then I'll be quiet for a while? We also are here to create a whole new paradigm. So what if we just stop with the like looking at the past and like what the Bible said and what everything said, and then just like live out of our heart space and be like bold enough to live? Because when we do that, and we were talking about like the heart space, the more you act out of your heart space, you see that there's nothing to be afraid of, and that living, like, that is the paradise on earth. Living out of your heart space, you don't hold judgment, you just hold understanding for others, and then you don't attract, like, people are that they'll try to like think from a fear-based mentality how to understand an open heart space and be like, but how do you protect yourself from what? I am the light. What am I afraid of? I shine on the darkness. And then once we like turn on the light, there's nothing like, okay, if there's a problem, there's a solution. We live in abundance, don't we? All right, I'll be quiet now.
No, you're good. You're good.
Thank you for listening.
It's fun. It's funny because now the sun has gone over to your side. We started out sun over here, going over there. I think the sun is just focusing on who's generating the light.
We got we got the most
whoever's talking,
spotlight.
you get the spotlight. Yeah, I've been noticing. Refrain was afraid of just sleeping with dogs. Like, it gives me anxiety, but I love dogs, which is not to that point. That's actually something that I guess can transition, like we were saying, in more detail of working with William over here. Wherever they're at, enjoying life and stuff. Recently, and I thought of this as well. Like, if someone were to go through a dog attack on the level of really anything, people get bit by a dog in the smallest way. And it's like, no me gusta dogs forever. You know?
We hear it all the time.
Yeah.
With Aries. Like, you either love him or they tell you, I got bit like that once. Or I got bit by a dog like that. And okay. But yeah, it marks people.
Yeah, I think personally, I feel going through that experience and like in the moment, not being like, oh my God, like, and I think that's where it also brings up like how things are in the moment, you know. And we believe the moment and that energy is going to last forever. And like a lot of things we're worried about are like external things from the situation. Like, okay, my hands are fucked up from, this altercation and whatnot. But like, how am I going to make money when I need to make money? Or how am I supposed to edit these videos? How am I going to do this and do tarot? How am I going to do that? And realizing even the van, being like, oh, the van's towed. And, when you talk to people, the people who are doing the things that we're doing, a lot of them don't get their vans back in these situations. And they just go, it is what it is. What are you going to do? And I guess that's where both of us being resilient in many ways, and me being hard-headed in the way of like, yo, fuck this, is free water, we're free bitches, and getting the van back.
We had fun every time we went into Tremont, like 7 times.
So
every time
we got the van back twice.
we use the
so
opportunity to charge our phones and
go in there 800 times.
we got our shit.
Might as well just bring them donuts and shit at this point. But
shout out to Tremont.
And going through that, and I don't know, just I feel that's the thing about like the past. When you're in the past and you're holding on to the past, then you're creating that same cycle. And that's the thing that I tell myself is that like we're in a different frequency now, no matter what's going on, what we're going to figure out is that the big thing is that we're just in a different frequency. Like if you were to put this episode up with other episodes, it's going to be a different frequency,
Mm-hmm.
You can just see it vibrating with the sun, kind of even coming back over here. But
oh yeah.
yeah, because it's going to shift by the time I'm done with whatever I got to say.
How beautiful is that? We have the sun giving us the spotlight.
That's crazy.
And we have all these lizards that just keep stopping. At any given time, there's a handful of lizards of all kinds and colors just like looking at us. So, and reptile beings are what taught me you don't move unless you need to. Reptiles preserve their energy because they get it from the sun. And we as humans keep moving. We have to work. We create these realities, right? And so then spirit sometimes, or we ourselves, cause things like getting towed or speeding tickets.
Whatever it is. It's really just a drop in the energy. And I feel like that's what like the big issue is that there's drops in energy and not understanding it. And I feel for, like we said, a new way of learning. When I feel a drop in energy, I'm like ahead of like the direction of where we're like, I like when I'm playing Rocket League with Chief or something, and like once he picks up the controller and the game starts, I already know we're losing. Like before we even start and we hit the ball, I'm already like, fuck, we're losing, right? So then saying something about it
when he's in that energy, or
when he's in the energy. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's a winning energy, I already know we're going to win the game. Like I know from the beginning, just based off the energy and through cause and effect and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where, like, let's say with the toe thing of going like, all right, hey, we're learning that, to listen to each other, right? To understand the energy, understand its causes, even in, let's say, friction in the energy going, hey, whoa, the energy feels off. It's time to take a break. Or, excuse me. Or we need to head in a different direction, or this isn't working. Hey, like, when we're in a spot and it's like, oh, the energy's off, let's move before something happens. And, we have to find out what that energy meant, And I think, before, when you're not having on both parties, any parties, when you're not having as much control on your emotions, and also one of the things we wrote down was like rushing things, rushing results, and it's like rushing results, but not taking the time to like do all the small parts. Like in this period, us taking time for just ourselves and each other, and move into, let's say, going live and doing this and blah 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 blah, versus like, we went through everything with Rose and we went right back out and doing TikToks and this and we took some time, but it was like we felt like, let's do this, let's make it count and all that, doing camping trip. And we did,
enjoy ourselves in a lot of things, but it's like, I guess just, taking more time to heal and work through everything.
It's a process.
And realizing it is a process. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It might not be a one podcast episode type thing. But holding the vision that is going to get done is, I feel, the important part. Instead of being like, oh, it's not done yet, Oh, we're not on the same page right now in this moment. Doesn't mean we're not going to be on the same page tomorrow,
Yeah, I think like when things arise, situations arise, realizing that you're not my enemy, because will many times, I feel like I realized this today, you ask for more, like you want to be, who do you name all the time, who's that new streamer?
Kai Senate.
Okay, you say you want to be like that guy, and then you're now mad that you have to be on the computer all the time. But it's like, you asked for this, and many times I realize that like our blessings, like at first they might feel uncomfortable because it's new energy and it's asking more of us. Like when I was like with both dogs, I'm like, holy shit, when am I, like, that's a lot. Aries is a full-time job, and then Willie is healing and going through his own thing. And this is my first time with the dog straight from the streets, who was abused, and teaching him. And thankfully I realized, how do you know you're ready for the opportunity? It's in front of you. And then that kind of takes away a lot of anxiety and confusion and gives me more clarity and confidence in my ability, because if it's in front of you, then you're ready for it. And like many things, like really cool opportunities can scare us too. Like hanging out with new people in new places,
I mean, just what we do is scary. Everything's like,
it can be.
I feel personally, it's what I realized is that whatever you do, whether it is, let's say when I talk about rigging all the time, that's what I've realized, that meditation is far scarier than like physical like danger. When I was up 300 feet in the air, I felt safer because if I were to mess up and like fall or something, what's going on, Gabriel? Then someone would be able to catch me. If I have my safety net, I have this, I have that. When you're going in your mind, there's no one besides yourself. And when you're trying to explain something, people can't fully understand you, especially if you aren't fully, understanding yourself or fully communicating the truth. Because if we're leaving parts out, then it's like, things are kind of confusing, or now we have to live with this story, and that's what happens a lot of times when we're in the past. We're committing to a story.
You even mentioned this on Instagram yesterday. People put on these personas. Like if you are going to be this happy person always on Instagram, or always the sexy person on Instagram, or whatever it is, you then you're putting on a persona. So now you're actually limiting yourself in all essence, because you can only attract other people who are also putting on a persona. You don't match whatever image you're portraying, you match the energy. So you're gonna meet other fake people who are also on that caliber. That's another lesson I learned this year.
Battery's going low. I gotta grab the other charger.
All right. Nice. So guess all in all, this last year really showed me that the scariest thing you can do is to just sit with yourself and be honest about what you want. And then it doesn't have to happen overnight. You just make moves towards what you want. And for a lot of us, it hasn't been created yet because we're here to create it. And as we were talking about in this process, sometimes we just stumble upon it and things are so easy and magical because we find ourselves in the flow. And then we try to get back into this flow and we try to do the same thing without being cognizant of the energy we were in, because you don't have to. Spider energy is a real thing. And what is spider energy? That is when you put so much intention into the web you weave or your home space or where you are, that everything, as you're walking, as you're breathing, as you're thinking, everything supports your energy. You're very clear on what you're doing and what energy you're attracting, and then you allow it to come forward. You don't seek outside validation for your vision. And we saw it in Shark Tank yesterday when it didn't make sense who ended up getting deals, other than they even say it's the people who eat and breathe their vision and their business. And yeah, it's really that simple. It's really that simple. And there's so many different people. There's so much space for all of our visions and all of our true essences to exist. Like right now, it feels like we don't fit and it's like crowded because the way things are isn't in sync or in harmony with our true essence. So when we act out of our soul, out of our higher self, out of alignment with our true energy, then we find ourselves in places where we like, a big fear for me was, I feel like I was such a big energy that there's no way I could cohabitate with other people. I would, forever live alone on the mountain with my dogs or something. But when I'm living out of my true space, I am then surrounded with people who respect and understand my energy, and also that this awareness that we're all connected. We don't have to physically be next to each other to share energy in this experience. So that, and then on a more gradual level, you then begin realizing that, and I'm just burning sage to help facilitate the energy flow. You found it? I was just talking about the process and how sometimes we stumble upon it or it finds us and we try to recreate doing the same things. This was something interesting that happened. You might try mushrooms or a sound bath, right? And you might have an amazing experience and you feel this feeling of connectivity and clarity and just a magical experience with the mushrooms. Or you can have that also through sound healing or some kind of epiphany. And then you want to recreate it, you then try to do the same thing and try to do mushrooms again or a sound bath again. But in all actuality, you felt that energy now that you have that feeling, if you felt it once, if you experienced it once, you now have the potency, the power, the information you need to recreate it again. And a lot of us, to go along with the whole we're creators, because we're here to create the experiences we want, not to read the menu and follow what's been going on.
I think that's the biggest thing in the spiritual community is that we're so used to following what's going on before. And here's something that's interesting that I don't think a lot of people talk about. We kind of feel a relief when someone's fake. You know, if we're fake too, then the fact that, let's say when I was living in Wisconsin, we had this one friend. I won't say their name or whatever. But, hey, what's going on, Maxwell? The fact that they weren't really doing anything, and you might know this with like if you lived in a small town, whatever it is, or your block, your neighborhood, that oh, so and so didn't graduate, so and so didn't go to this school, so and so didn't do that, and us focusing on that, we then don't have to push ourselves too far. Right? It's the kid Ox. Oh, wrong page. So when, let's say, you get in like a community and you might have thought like these standards were going to be this high, and like let's say myself in college, I thought college was going to be super duper duper hard. When it isn't that hard. We just make it hard on ourselves because we have to pay for it. We have to go to multiple jobs. We're trying to have a social life. We're trying to do all these things, right?
Well, if you're trying, then it's hard, right? Like, isn't that like they're working hard? Then they're really like you have to earn it. It can't just come.
Wesco in the building. What's happening?
It can't just come easy.
Oh, facts. So that's what they tell you in college. You're supposed to suffer, right? The whole point. Isn't that what they're like? Oh, when you're in high school, they're like, wait until you get to college. It's gonna be harder. You gotta wait bigger papers.
Your parents suffer, so like they want you to put in the effort also.
No,
to earn that.
I grew up differently. Like
you did. You didn't want you to suffer.
I mean, like it was kind of to the point where we were already suffering. It wasn't like I feel like here's the thing, like.
Well, then,
there's like families where it's like they have the money and they're like, no, we're going to tell you no so you can. We just didn't have it. So we didn't really know like another life besides the life we were already living. Growing up in Chicago, the fact that I didn't have to lay on the ground at night when people were like arguing because of bullets and shit. Whatever situation I was in after that, it felt like we were winning. Whether we had cable, whether we had food, whether we had lights. I remember the one time the lights got cut off and my mom lit a bunch of candles and we had Pizza Hut. And we was like, oh shit, we had Pizza Hut. Fuck it. Like, fuck them motherfucking lights. You know what I'm talking about? We got Pizza Hut in this bitch. How much, we got Pizza Hut, we got candles. Mom tend to be that's a thing I put in our post. When you already hit the bottom, like when I was in a tent, there's like this relief that you feel because it's like, oh shit, if this is rock bottom and, let's say you're a mom and the kids are enjoying themselves because you got Pizza Hut, you lit some candles, you made it a thing, you know what I'm saying? We figured it out. So like, me, when I was 16, I never thought about going to college. It was like, when you're growing up in the community, being a young black person or whatever, you're not supposed to make it past 25. Joke's on you if you're still alive. That's the whole thing. So, I'm 16. There's no college fund. I'm just figuring out how to be a drug dealer so I can start making money because those are the only people you see with money in the neighborhood, right? So moving to Atlanta and staying with my dad, where my dad was like far more strict on grades and stuff because my mom was kind of like out of it or whatever.
How was his economic status?
Oh, my dad had more money. Money, had a nice house with the car, and that was like, that's the thing where I learned too, and that's where it fucked me up because I'm going over to my dad's thinking like, oh shit, we're gonna have money, like, and once you have money and weather, coming from Wisconsin, you know what I'm saying? I used to look at the Weather Channel
in the morning and shit. This is before everybody had, your own personal laptops and phones and all that shit. So you put the Weather Channel on in the morning before you go to work and school and shit. And I would see Atlanta, and it'd always be warmer than Wisconsin. And that's what I would be like, man, if it was 20 degrees warmer, I would, so going down there and being super stoked. And like, that's when I realized that shit sucks. Like, money doesn't buy happiness. And then we had money, and then I missed having friends. I missed the fact that, like, like I said, the candle thing and the pizza, like, and that's where we're kind of learning with the van and like sleeping outside and whatever it is going like, oh shit, if we have the vibe and we love each other, then, whatever is happening is, we'll get through it together. And I feel like that's what I was saying, like the relief of like, you're telling, the bill is past due and you're trying to like go to work and you're trying to figure out all these things and you're trying to keep it up. And then once you don't have to keep it up anymore, and it's like, if I was able to get a job, I was 13 at the time, like I would have did that, and started figuring out a way to, if streaming and all that stuff was a thing, that I would have been on that. I would have flipped that shit. Fucking 13, I'm like, Mom, give it the webcam and let me turn these video games into some motherfucking money or something. And then whatever, but I feel like everything happened for a reason, and we grew up in the time we grew up. But like for me to go through those lessons and to experience that with my dad, and like being in a house where one of our last altercations when I left before like this whole crazy adventure with courts in the woods and all that stuff, my stepmom, she opened up a guacamole thing, right? The small little things of guacamole. So she's eating out of it, and I come up and I put my chip in and I get some guacamole, right? Bro, my stepmom spazzed out so hard. Well, you need to get your own guacamole, and this is my guacamole. I'm like, bro, like I don't want a whole guacamole. I just wanted to, first of all, try it. You know what I'm saying? Second of all, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a thing. It's a thing that we do when you're on the frequency and when you're hanging out with people. Like, we'll walk up and be like, yo, you want some fruit? Like, yeah, shit, just grab some fucking fruit. Like, get that shit, Like, whoa, hey, I got extra chips, get some, free water family. We put our food out on the table, Indian style, just get your hands in and all that stuff. So the fact that was such a thing, and then it sparked the altercation with my dad, which led to us
obviously not about the guac.
It's not about the guac, right?
Or like if she was bothered, why not communicate? Because I can see, what if she prepared herself a snack and then you just came up behind? There's so many things that could happen, and we don't know each other's
If I would have
worlds.
ate the whole guac.
No, we can be open to other perspectives. It's just like you were saying about because it was interesting how you said the thing about your mom and how that's like such a thing. Okay, most people love and have loved their parents, their families so much that they have compromised their own well-being and their own realities and their own needs to make it make sense, right, in their lives, these relationships. What are you doing?
I'm adding some creamer. That's fucking nuts. Hey, what's happening?
Huh?
Johnny Joseph Perez Humani. I did that one.
I did not know you could have a name that big. That's what she said.
That is what she said. Well, I mean, that's the...
Oh, yeah, the mom thing. And
try to be both.
Vacations. Like, I'm trying to think, okay, when my mom was the most chill life, it wasn't even like things done. It was just the energy. It just felt like, okay, dad can breathe, and now we all can, like, just be more ourselves. Like, you're just kids being kids. And now I totally understand, because the way things are, this world will drive you crazy. I'm surprised. I think we're doing a lot better. Like, once you actually become attuned and aware to, like, all the things and feelings and pressures, and then, like, the energy, from everything, right? It's a lot. So shout out to everyone for being here and existing. But back to the whole money doesn't do shit. Resources don't do anything. It's really how we treat each other and how we can communicate, like just always remembering what's important. Because if there's a problem, like, we care about each other, it's our problem.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can communicate and help each other figure it out, and we're not against each other. And I think we just have learned that because we have compromised ourselves to form these bonds from the beginning that did not really, like, fit us. And so now there's, like, this thing of, well, I don't really want to join community or hang out with other people because I got hurt before. But then that's holding on to that past energy. You're not the same person. You are now radiating at a different frequency, and trust what you are attracting. Because if it's in front of you, you're most likely, like, attracting that thing you want or the next step. You know? Ding, 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 ding.
It's that one. You want to press it?
The green?
Yeah, the green. Top right.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty sick.
Yeah. I just find myself, like, wanting to talk more about my art that I'm creating, and I don't, because my energy's not in the past anymore. I just want to talk about our projects. Are we going on tour? Are we going to stay here? I was talking about spider energy, and that's the interesting thing. There's a lot of webs and spiders here. However, they're not tapping into the spider energy.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm like, there's a lot of spiders here. I'm like, y'all niggas' webs is empty.
Like, yeah.
There was this one spider in the spot in La Jolla that was eaten. I was like, damn, player, you got a good ass spot. Like, big spider energy. They was trying to clean it up. I was like, nah, bro, we need that. I spend so much of the morning cleaning that spot. And that's when I realized too, it's just like, like, when it's like appearance, you spend so much time keeping up the appearance versus, like, doing the actual work. And I realized that if you think about yourself going to work, right, it's so much time getting ready, making sure it looks like you're working, and, like,
getting yourself, like, energetically ready to, like, and then that's usually where you buy yourself something to, I would bribe myself sometimes. So I would have to bribe myself. Like, I can buy myself lunch if I go to work today. Or you lunch. Smoke more, like, or you might drink more.
I drank a lot when I was a server.
And you know what I'm thinking? It might feel, like, overwhelming, because at what point do you stop? Many people have, just being honest, many people have kids because of another reason besides the purity of wanting to bring life into this world. Sometimes you get pregnant, sometimes you're just, like, it happens. Or it was, like, what's expected of you at the time. So then, like, say your kids are, like, 18. Like, you've been lying for so long that it might be overwhelming to be, like, just be honest with yourself. But being able to be honest with yourself about the past, you then can heal and bring forth that energy. So then you're not stuck in that decision anymore.
Facts. Said they love the haircut.
Thank you.
We saw that on Shark Tank. And it's really no level. And we always think that the grass is really greener on the other side, and people are going through all sorts of shit in a different way with different characters, but we're all going through it, and that's why it's interesting to see Tara on the collective and all that stuff. Now, the woman, she was like, she started out, if you know the show Shark Tank is a show where sharks are investors,
right? People with, let's say, money who have money to spend on people's ideas that, as Mr. Wonderful would say, put the gasoline on the fire to make it go boom, right? And they're looking for the good ideas that all they need is their gasoline, i.e. money, to go boom. So people come on, they pitch all sorts of ideas. So this woman, her daughter comes in, they pitch this marker holder. It holds markers, and you don't need a cap because you put the marker into the holder and you can hold all the markers at once. I'm not going to go into how I feel about said item. But that's not the point. The point is, so you're talking about this marker holder. She's like, oh yeah, the daughter, came up with the marker holder. And I'm helping her turn this idea into a reality. So then you're like, oh shit, fucking little 3-year-old entrepreneur. Fuck yeah. And then I also feel bad because it's like you're 3-year-old, you're an entrepreneur. But also as myself, so I went through this whole wave of emotion, right? As one does. And yeah. I want everyone to hear this wave because we might reflect and think about these things, right? Yeah. So at first I see it.
The emotions are temporary. You try them all on, and then you see what is true to you.
Facts.
Okay.
Oh, it's cute. 3-year-olds pitching on Shark Tank. That's awesome, right?
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, and you're like, damn, they're gonna get all the deals.
All the deals.
She's cute from the get go. You either bring a puppy or a kid.
You in that bit with tears, and she crossed all the boxes.
She did,
but she also crossed all the other boxes too.
Yeah.
So which boxes outweigh the boxes? So, so we'll get there. So I see the daughter. I'm like, oh, that's cute, and then I go, you know what?
What?
She didn't get a chance to be a child because she's an entrepreneur. She's a young entrepreneur.
No, she's her mother's emotional support child.
We're getting there. Right. So then the third emotion, I go, but remember, like you said with your brother in Aquarius, sometimes we come and we're born, we got things to do, right? So we should not discredit children on Shark Tank.
No.
Sometimes we got things to do, right? And that's the childhood you want to live, not someone downplaying you because you're a child and they're saying, go play on the slide. You have an idea that can change the world and you just need some help, right? So I went through all those emotions, right? So now all right, we're here. So then the mother starts explaining all these other ideas, and you saw they went to another side. There was a whole nother shelf. And it was all these
7 products. She has idea, and then it turns out the numbers are fudged.
77,000 in the hole. This idea the daughter's idea hasn't even really went out to market yet. So you come in, you're pitching the daughter and her idea, which technically, I'm not going to say doesn't have anything to do with the company, but the percentage of what that actually has to do with the company versus all these other things, it's like, that's fucked up. And like you were saying, being the emotional support, and that's where it goes, where it's kind of hard, where you were talking about, we change our whole lives to then help out our parents. And that's what's fucked. Because we come in and we are spirits, right? We're spirits on a mission in these physical bodies that help birth this physical being, or just here to guide said spirit, help it, take care of itself until it's strong enough to do some push-ups and be able to grow its own food. You know what I'm saying? Their own food, whatever, right? That's our job as light beings and guardians and all that shit. But what happens is we be fucking up, right? As adults and beings on this planet. So then we're fucking up so much that we're like, oh shit, our kid is going to come and solve our problems, right?
Be our best friend. I used to see it on the Maury show all the time when I was a kid. Girls would literally say, I want to get pregnant because I want a friend. Or hold on to a relationship. You think now people are going to care about you. And it's okay to admit these things. It's okay to say, I'm lonely. I've thought erroneous, crazy things. Like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Mm-hmm. It's interesting when you watch things as the observer and not judge it, because at the end of the day, he wanted human connection. He did not know how to go about it. Like, he did not know how to go about it. I'm not like agreeing with his actions. I'm just saying everything he did, he really wanted to connect, and everyone in society was telling him, no, like they were yelling at him, and he didn't understand. No one was explaining to him or showing him another way. And he also didn't say, hey, I want human connection. How do I do this?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot to be learned, but it's just no more the time of using other beings, whether it be your child, other children, ourselves in relationships. Like, how many times do we compromise? Like, like in Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry wanted to be friends with Mary. They're two married couples, and he's like, oh, we can't be friends because she's married. That's ridiculous. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. But that's kind of like, some society rule, whatever. And we're now limiting each other because we're married, we're each other's property. And I don't know where I was going with this.
Well, because everything's all right. So, right, the lizard's been coming out to play.
He's beautiful. This
Lizard's been coming down. They're on the
he's
set.
got like gold on him.
They're on the cables. Shouts out to the lizards for sure. Shouts out to them blessing us with energy. Also, commercial break.
Commercial break. Oh.
Yeah, you can get yours freewaterfamily.com, or if you want to support just by donating on the Free Water Family Venmo. You can do that. Also, Free Chief. One time, we're going to get into that later, but
yeah.
Because that's a great transition since we're on Dahmer. So Dahmer sexually assaults someone, and we see, and here's the thing about it being real, and I like the fact that they had the court like stenographer or whatever, because she looked, and you can pull up these files, so we possibly could. And I would like to the double back on what I'm saying, the fact check it. But the way that as a clean cut white male, it goes, you're not supposed to be in the correctional system, right? And it's like, what? What does that mean? Who is supposed to be in the correctional system?
An alcoholic. Then? Multiple accounts of just doing things that are not conducive.
Yeah.
And he was with a minor. He was was he 14, 13?
13, yeah.
And he got caught. Like, there was who is supposed to be in the correctional?
It's crazy because Chris Hansen, right? Here's the thing. Chris Hansen, right? Remember that show Dateline? How to Catch a Predator? You never watched Dateline How to Catch a Predator? Can we roll the clip? Guys, chat. Can we roll the clip?
Oh, wow. Wow, it's lit up in here.
That's what I'm saying. Chat's going crazy. We're doing numbers. Thank you guys for tuning in on this beautiful Saturday. We have a beautiful set. We have a beautiful design on our thing. I'm going to pull up the YouTuber tins, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, what's going on? Thank you guys. I'm just as we're like blessing beautiful spirits, and then we get such a beautiful spirit like yourself to join in, I want to say thank you. Right. Oh my God, I wonder if I'm just gonna put in the Catch a Predator, right? And if it's a funny one, top 5 arrogant. All right. All right, pretty much I don't think we need to roll the clip. No, we'll roll the clip just for the sake of the show. So, boop, and look at this. So we got the window catcher up.
Nice.
It should be I think I have to put it again. Ancient Secrets.
So what does it have to do with the Phoenix?
The Phoenix.
New...
Oh, Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix. We met Phoenix, Aresito, and they said they already knew Aries. So Aries is more famous than everybody. They were like, "Oh, Aries, we know Aries." I was like, "Oh, what's up?" Aries got clout in the streets, you know. So we can't even be.
Yeah. Aries is resting currently.
Yeah.
He's grounding.
He's grounding. All right, so we pulled that up.
Cat.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right, so now we got our stuff up on the screen. We're gonna watch a little clip of the Catch a Predator, right?
Yeah.
I wanna. All right, here we go. This is what I want to see.
What does this have to do with?
Is it? I'm about to show you.
I know, but I just like for those who are not watching.
Okay, so
Oh my gosh, Mad TV, Catch a Predator. Go back up. The guy.
Oh yeah. So we can watch the Mad TV one. This one I'm gonna play this one because it's just a minute one. Then we'll play the Mad TV one. So the reason I'm playing the Catch a Predator is because this was such a big thing in the early 2000s. That the fact that Dahmer was able to get away with just literally being caught drugging a 13-year-old and saying no contest, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, you don't deserve to be here, and we're gonna give you like a light sentence.
You deserve a second chance."
Yeah, you deserve a second chance. This dude comes in with some wine coolers. Oh, this is a parody, for sure. Oh no. Oh, it's definitely a parody.
Chili loves you.
Hey, Chilio, what's happening? And then put the
Chilio.
little
Wolfgang Lee.
yeah, Wolf. Hey, Lee, what's happening?
Okay.
Boom.
So.
All right. So either way, just in short, they have the cops come in, and the dude didn't even do anything. You're chatting with a minor who also isn't technically a minor because it's an adult. They're chatting with on these chat rooms. By the time they go and meet up with the minor, is Chris Hansen. He comes out because they come in. They're like, "Oh, I'm here," and then they'll have the minor be like, or like whoever's
So
playing
it's
the minor.
online?
Yeah, it's online. So when the person comes in, they're like, "Oh, I'm in the back room. I'm just getting ready. I'm about to come out." And then here comes out Chris Hansen, and they're like, "So what were you gonna do with this minor today?" and all that shit. So then these people go to jail for like hella long times. They try to run. They be getting their ass whooped by the police when they be dipping, like all that shit. And then the fact that, you know, Dahmer is able to, you know, be clean cut, and they're like, "Oh, but realistically you saw that it was just racist," because it was like, "Oh, I can't understand what your father's saying. Okay, I can't understand you either. Like, we'll just take your written statement and we'll let this guy go because, you know, and we'll have it be to the fact that it won't we won't say what it is for, because the fact that if you're a sexual predator, you get to keep your job and not be on a list." Because the dude's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with you," you know, and it's like, damn, that's crazy. The dude who slick kind of even wants to get caught can't get caught because the system's so like, "No, you're a good kid," versus someone like myself or Chief, right, getting caught with a mushroom because he has long hair. And that's what I told him. I said, "Here's the difference. My friend Steve, he played this movie for me when I was younger, and like just got out of college time, and it was Easy Rider, and it's these people who play they ride motorcycles across the South, right? And it's just two white dudes and they got long hair, and I'm like, Steve, what the fuck? Like, why are they getting hassled by the people in the South just as you would be? You know how they watch like black movies in the 1950s? You already know what time it is. Like, oh, they're going to the restaurant. Like, you already know it's going to say coloreds and shit like that, and they're going to experience some hostility. Now, these white people who are just riding motorcycles with long hair are getting hostility as well. And I'm confused because I'm like, bro, white people are racist towards white people, right? And that's when we have to realize it's particularly about, we just think it's skin color. It's just like a certain image that like an energy wants you to hold. Like I said, even for my, like, oh, I have to get my hair cut all the time. If I'm not brushing my hair, if I'm not getting a cut like every week or every other week, then you broke, people are going to start asking questions. Are you okay? Like type shit. And, if you do things like that, people treat you differently. But it's not about your character. It's about your image. And that's what's crazy, because if you're looking up at Dahmer, and Dahmer has this whole record, right? Chief's in the same situation, no record. Actually, it shows us doing things for the community and helping out. We have a website.
Literally, that's all he does.
All these things, all we do, right? Gets an even harsher sentence for possession, aggravated possession of mushrooms.
How far was he from a border? We're in the same country.
Literally
on the land.
20 minutes if he's away from Michigan, where it's decriminalized. But this particular county in Ohio, it's not. So you can go 20 minutes. And sexual assault is, I'm pretty sure, of a minor is illegal in every state. So why is the judge treating them like you're not supposed to go through the system, when Chief had a great speech and, said that he wasn't this person, and everyone can attest. They said, well, Chief, communicated himself clearly and respectfully, and, was honest about, his intentions and what he's doing with the religion. And they go, oh, you're not like, we're going to treat you like a criminal, like you move heroin and you're, freeware. You can't talk to everyone else because you guys are drug dealers and this and this and this. When it's like, we have all we're doing is, one, working through family things, right? That's as crazy as it gets, right? Two, like, if we're not doing that, we're doing things for people, we're helping people, we're inspiring people, we're educating people, we're doing something for the collective. Yet we get treated the way that we're treated, i.e. like driving, how people look at us in certain neighborhoods, when, that's the issue, is that everyone's so focused on the image and not the actual intentions behind things and what's even going on. Because it's like we talked about, all these people in these nice places, and everyone's so focused about their image that they're not even focused about even being happy, or if their neighbor's happy, or, if they're doing something that they even want to do. We're just so focused about getting money and looking a certain way and appealing to whatever forces that we're supposed to appeal to, that we forget what, that's why we have depression, and then we can't even think about it because we're suppressing our feelings. If we were to automatically think about the things that we wanted to do, and like you said about cutting your hair, what if they were like, oh, you can't cut your hair because people want to do, and you wanted to cut your hair, and you wanted to dye it. You wanted to cut your hair, you wanted to dye it, you wanted to wear these clothes, you wanted to do this, and you already know that you can't do such a thing. So the thought of you even thinking about it gives you anxiety. Right? You don't even try to think about cutting your hair, because if you think about cutting your hair, then you're thinking about changing the clothes you wear. Then you think about not going to wherever it is you want to do, and then just going to where you do want to go. And then the thought of it bringing you so much joy, right? That's what's crazy. It's like, let's say if I didn't want to be at work and I wanted to go hiking, the thought of me hiking, like, then gives me anxiety and makes me depressed, because I want to go hiking so bad, and I don't want to do what it is that I'm doing, that I'm compromising. So I don't even try to think about it, because if I were to think about, you
would open Pandora's box of the other things.
Exactly. And then I didn't even want to go to school, and blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to do this, I didn't want to do that, and where does it start and where does it end? And that's where we get so overwhelmed in society that we give up. Because instead of us thinking about the one thing and then going to the next thing and thinking about that and thinking about that and thinking about that, we're just so overwhelmed by everything that we stay in our whatever it is that we're thinking. Same thing about bringing up the past. If we can't open up the fact that, let's say, learning to, like, even the fact that this podcast is different, we're not allowing each other to speak, but we're flowing with each other, communicating to the point where we're not, let's say, just talking and going over each other and you get, you're speaking, I'm speaking, we're flowing. That's a big difference than what we were doing before through the things we're learning of, okay, let's choose a different thing. Maybe before I wasn't listening as much. I'm choosing to listen more. Maybe before, instead of taking the time to think, I would just like blurt out whatever it is. And these small changes is what changes the past to the future we actually want, because what I've reflected on, we were a lot of times very close to a very big goal that, we might have not gotten 100% what we thought it is that we wanted, right? And a lot of those things that were getting, stopping us from getting to the next level is 100% working together and 100% being able to communicate, being on the same page, all that stuff. Now, the reason why it was hard for us to make those decisions, because we've been through so much things in our past that we're now projecting that into our future. Instead of being here, being present and going like, okay, Quartz is different, Luna's different. No, I've been in a relationship like this. This and this is going on. And therefore, I'm going to put my walls up and go in attack mode to prevent myself from further getting hurt, further pushing us away from what it is that we wanted to do, because we start operating in survival mode. This whole, what I say about streaming and all that stuff we talked about with Kaisen and all that, I'm not an 8 hours a day streamer. I don't have that much anxiety anymore. What I want to do is experience life and spend time with you, spend time with the dog, spend time with my friends, the rest of the people in my relationships, all that stuff. That's what I want to do, and I don't want to be fake and then hang. I'm not saying that guy's fake, but it's just we can get caught up in a whole world of images with streaming, where people don't realize the dark side, or I won't say the dark side because it's just the other side behind the phone, behind the camera, behind the lens, right? There's so much that goes into it that it then engulfs our entire life. And to be competitive in streaming now is completely different than it was a couple years ago, right? So now, there's so much that goes into it that it engulfs your whole life. And then we turn something that was fun into a job. And then it's even more of a job than another job, because let's say with another job, you can just come in, get your assignment, just do what you have to do. And you know how long it takes. So you know how much, fake time you have to put. Okay, it takes me this long to write this paper or this long to file this. Then therefore I can watch YouTube, or I can play this game for this long and then do it in the last 15 minutes, send it in, and then, as long as it's done, no one cares. They're really interesting neighborhood to walk your dogs in, those sidewalks, and they're street racing. It's interesting once you get a mustache, you say things like that. Oh, they're really obeying the speed limit over here. We have children, buddy.
It's not. It's the noise. Why be noisy through a quiet neighborhood?
Well, that's the attention. We got anxiety. I remember when I would do things like this for attention. Now, it's like once you're so comfortable, you get so much attention because everyone's like, "Wow, you're chilling, dude," and you're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "How are you chilling with everything going on in the world?" And you're like, I don't like, first of all, what's real, dude? Like, you create your own reality. Then you say something like that, and they're like, oh, man, you know, do. And then this is just at the gas station. You're just, like, because we don't have, a lot of times, we don't have sandals on or shoes in general, and we're walking around barefoot, and that sparks people's conversation. You know, we got the dogs off lead. It's just the way we live, radiating authenticity, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you said. When you're radiating authenticity, now we're starting to attract other authentic beings. When you're, let's say you're in an unhappy relationship, right? So then you start, just if we can even our own relationship, radiating other people who are unhappy in their relationship, and then you guys kind of hang out, and then it's like this unwritten rule or understanding that we're not really asking questions about the relationship. You know, like, we're hanging out, we're making small talk, you know.
Or you'll even
how's Disney World?
You might even actually touch on it, and then no one will question, wait, like, why are you with this person if you're not happy? Or, like, why are you doing anything to change it? Like, many times I feel like we can't touch these areas. Like, who are we? But if you truly, I've always felt like if you really love someone, wouldn't you tell them, or wouldn't you at least bring it up and be like, hey, as someone who loves you, I just want to bring this up. If you want to talk about it, cool. If you got it under control, cool. But I just feel like someone who loves themselves and is a loving being would want to be happy in their relationship. And it doesn't mean in the relationship. It just means, like, hey, you have opportunity. Like, no one has to be in discord. No one has to be in dis-ease. These bodies are meant to be fully functioning in flow. And it, like you said in your song, if there's anything in your life,
if I didn't like it,
it.
I straight changed it. If I didn't like it, did I really say it? It's a recording on this phone. Don't care about the payment. They say, wait, man, who really does that? Don't trip about money, but go, man, I dug that. Aladdin from a Rugrat, now I'm a genie. The aliens that beam me on the straight daily, meditating daily, standing in the river. I saw a great lobster, said you're gonna be a winner. I need a chicken dinner, but can you make it vegan? I'll be representing team, man. I'm standing in the scene, man, of my favorite scene, man. Life is a dream, man, and ain't much different. So catch me in the hammy, straight missing. About to go to Bermuda, about to learn how I'm fishing. I love that song so much because when you like rap the bars, I feel like it makes more sense. Like, for me, like my own personal music is like affirmations. Like, when you say like magic and words and shit, like I put the energy of like the highlands of this moment. Like, because when you start rapping it, when you're listening to the words, you're like, you don't really know what I'm saying. Like, it's just like being honest, you know, just not being egotistical, everybody, blah, 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 blah. But it's because you're like vibing out and you're like, okay, it's the end of a scene. The Great Lobster said he's going to be a winner. Okay, all right, you know, whatever. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm standing in the scene, man, of my favorite painting, you know? And it's like, then you start looking around and you're like, damn, if I was in a museum, this is what I would be like in front of something. If they did an oil painting of what we're looking at right now,
it looked like an oil painting.
You'd be like, what the fuck? You'd be tripping balls. Like, damn, this is tight. And then you look out in your life and you're like, holy fuck, I'm actually there. What's going on? Amber Vitas, Jasleen.
Yeah.
Bro, chat's going crazy. Thank you guys for tuning in. Even if it's just for a quick, hey dear, hi dear, hold dear, we want to say thanks. So, that, and then life is a dream, man. It ain't much different, you know, like, and that's where everybody can get what they want if you actually put in the effort. But we go, like, let's say Dahmer and the alcohol thing, right? If he realized that, one, he had anger problems, but Eden, what's happening? What's happening? Don't we look like we're in Eden? For sure. So, like, being able to, let's say, work on, okay, I got anger issues. I don't know how to control my temper. I also don't know how to communicate what it is that I want, right? And I have, you know, no idea how to even express this to those around me because he's been living in fear and anxiety so much his entire life
that becomes his normal, and then it's like bringing people into that world. Like imagine if it was okay for him to feel like, I remember the pressure of like my dad going, "Oh, do you have a girlfriend?" and shit like that, and then it feels like, okay, everyone's asking you to have a girlfriend, when in reality you're just enjoying life. You're not even like, if there's girls as whatever, but I'm just playing video games
just
and
existing. And then all of a sudden, like, that was such a big thing for me. I equated like my worth to if I had a boyfriend or not, because then that was like the first question, and it's like, why are you gonna meet them? Like, are you gonna make them dinner? Are you gonna make us, like, what is the purpose of this question? But then people just don't even know what the hell to say to you or how to relate half the time, so they just say things, you internalize them, and then there you are. But yeah, he was very much subject to his immediate world. Had he had the resources or met people who perhaps like thought outside the box. Was this at the same time of Osho?
yeah, actually, if you think about
Isn't
it.
that funny? If he was like in that part
For
of the world.
every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Remember that, people. Remember that every time you take a tab at a festival. Just got the fuck. I think it makes you trip out a little bit, but that's what actually pushes me a lot of times, and let's say finding, like, pushing myself when I see whatever going on in the world. It's like, all right, we gotta be the balance, and then the whole song Party Up in Heaven Again of heaven is a frequency. You got to find it. The world is in perfect order. Here's something that would always, if you guys ever tripped and you're space cowboys with an I, right? So that's for everybody. You're or you're getting in a meditation. You're feeling spirit, because I don't like the word trip. You're really feeling spirit, right?
Yeah, the
And
medicine allows you to feel your whole power, your potential.
Yeah, the spirit. So you're feeling spirit, you're communicating with spirit, and then you go, spirit's asking you, so what do you want? You have a wish, like, what do you want? Like, what da 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 da. And then we kind of feel like pageant models, and we go, world peace, right? We ask the spirit for world peace. Whenever I would do that, spirit would kind of like exit the chat. I would feel spirit
serious.
leave. And it goes, you're not serious. And it's like, what do you mean I'm not serious? I just told you the thing that wouldn't, if you had one wish, wouldn't you make world peace? And they go, you dumb fuck, the world is peaceful. That's how spirit talks to me, because that's how, I'm from, that's what I've realized, is that my dialogue, right, comes from my own upbringing, and changing the dialogue changes the dialogue around me, from myself, from others, and all that stuff. And things that might have worked for me might not work for others, right? So spirit going, hey, like, I remember one time I asked if dinosaurs were real. Spirit was like, exit the chat. I was like, what? They were like, what's the definition of a dinosaur? And it's like fucking, any animal that was like older than this time. So weren't there animals, of that time? And it's like, yeah. So doesn't that mean that, you know what I'm saying? Dinosaurs will exist no matter however you look at it. What they look like, debatable, right? But we can't say that there weren't beings for this form of humans even, right? So that's all I gotta say about that.
They also have literally the tombs of the giant humans.
Oh, for sure.
And they already know, everyone knows that a lot of animals grow proportionate to their cages or their tanks. So wouldn't it make sense that if animals could roam the earth, they would just be bigger?
Oh yeah, you need larger legs to cover more distance, man.
That, and they're not like limited. Oh, look, there's a bee. Oh.
hey there, B. Hey there, Mr. Science Guy. Don't spray that aerosol in my eye. Cause I don't.
Like you said, the world
I
peace
don't.
thing, you know, it's not a pageant. You came here to express your true essence, your true perspective, whatever it is that you want to do. There is, like, I feel like there was a place in the world for someone like Jeffrey Dahmer who, like, wanted, someone's got to pick up the roadkill, not me. And he, like, if that energy was just channeled in such a way, and then he was able to exist in a community where, like, he was more understood, whatever, you know. I feel like
and that's the here's the thing, because we talked about Osho, right?
oh yeah.
So why is people ask me what's the difference between your, and we see the C word a lot, cult, right, versus other cults, and I go, well, we're more of like first of all, organization. Second of all, like, the difference is our goal isn't to say that we're better than anyone else. And I feel like that's like a big thing in a lot of organizations, you see in religions, that we're the chosen ones, right? Now,
everyone else is screwed, but we're the chosen ones.
Everyone's fucked. Whether
but if you're in this religion.
If I were to go like, here's the difference where I would just say about being chosen and all that stuff. This is the difference at Freewater. If, like I said, I lived out in the streets, right? I lived in the tent. I did all that stuff, right? And to be at this spot where we're setting up all this stuff looks amazing, right? Having the same opportunities as others, right? I didn't have a phone service. I figured it out. Everybody's got a phone with a camera on it, right? I figured out how to turn that shit into motherfucking Cash App that led to this being here, right? Freewater tells everybody that you have the opportunity to do that. Not as in like, oh, this is the American dream, but we all have the ability to be our highest God self, and that's the same thing with Dharma. We're not going like, you're literally a spawn of Satan. We're going, yo, you're a lot of energy, completely confused, and you need to learn how to control that and direct that in a healthy way. Now, if you're an attractive guy if you're able to even lure people, right? So that's not the issue. The issue is, let's say we had someone who went on a grinder date. Remember that? And then the person was like, yo, I want to fuck. And they were like, no, I wanted to cuddle and shit. And they're like, what the fuck? That's not what you do here, And it confused them. And we were like, well, you went on Grindr. Like, what'd you expect? And it's like, well, I want a connection. And that's where I see as the issue is somebody looking for a connection their whole life, right? And at that point, thinking that, okay, I can get this connection through this way. Okay, people still leave? Like, wait, what? You're still leaving? Like, what the fuck you mean I thought we just did the whole thing and we're going to do this forever. It's like, no, I got to go, right? And then you know how it is, ghost culture and all that shit. And this is before Instagram. So, you met at the club. You dead ass not seeing homie no more. It's no, I'm following you. I'm in your story. I sent you some hearts and reacted. It was, bro, that nigga gone. You know what I'm saying? So feeling that and being like, damn, that sucks. So I'm going to take matters into my own hands and make sure that no one leaves. Right. And what if, hey, you got a stable job where you're able to do this and this and this. Like, can you please, do this? And, we make sure that there's safety parameters and we're real smart about it. Help with communication. Like, through the whole time, it seemed like once he got caught, that's when he finally got a psychologist or psychiatrist or someone that actually talked to him and help him even explain what it is that he's feeling, which was
kind of what he even really wanted. You know, he was just like, fuck, I'm feeling this. Anytime I even get close to talking about it, you know, I get put in a situation that I know I'm not going to win in, you know?
Yeah. You know the scene where he talks to his dad and he's trying to tell his dad what he's like experiencing, and the dad completely like changed the subject. He's like, from the dad's perspective, he has the he's like, oh, I know the solution for this is you go to the army, or we're gonna get you into
Ohio State.
Whatever.
He went to Ohio State first.
And I feel like many a time I found myself in a similar situation where like I didn't know what I was experiencing and I was trying to get it out, but it was emotionally the parent or the adult was not emotionally present enough in their own self to even begin to hold space for myself. And that's where I'm seeing nowadays, like, the more we can just hold space for each other, we can figure it out. Like, it's really not that, if we really tap in, if everyone, like, anyone who subscribes to ancestors or any lineage, with the traumas and dramas also comes all the powerful information and insightful experience from all that time and energy. So, you know, unlock all those gifts. And yeah, I think that's just, it goes back to free water where like we can help make it make sense. Like, you want to stream when you want to stream. You want to play games when you want to play games. You want to skate when you want the freedom to live, and you found a way to make a life out of it. If someone you know what I mean? Like, it's just being honest with yourself, what you want, and then letting yourself have it. I feel that when we try to negate that, that's where we're like, what, you know?
Yeah. And that's where it just builds up, and then we snap. And that's where you see, here's the thing, right? And that's where it's, I would say that in a black community, just growing up, people are more confrontational. And like, I've seen a lot of fights, right? Growing up. And, you know, you don't see a lot of, let's say, suicides. And I wouldn't say, like, I'm not going to say there aren't serial killers, because people who go out and catch bodies, that's fucking being a serial killer, right? But it's like the energy is, let's say, communicated quickly. Like, if it's like you either fight about it or you move on. That's kind of, in short, what I kind of grew up on. It's like, yo, we either fighting about it, I'm about to curse you out, and you're about to know right the fuck now, and then we're going to move on. Like, it's not even like staying in the moment. Like, yo, like, people who are holding on to things and like all bringing it up forever, you know, then it's like you're stuck in that energy. But if you're communicating these things, you know, you're like releasing that. What we're working on with the family is, all right, now we understand that, okay, if we can communicate things, all right, sure, we communicated it, but now we have to do it in a way that's healthy, right? It can't just be like, yo, fuck you, and blah, 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 blah. I'm speaking my motherfucking mind, and it's like, okay, you're valid. Maybe you're valid. Sure. We're not going to say your emotions aren't valid, but do we have to put someone else down? Do we have to insult? Do we have to yell? Do we have to say it in this tone? You know, there's all these things that, you know, we're learning, like I said, through the scientific method in our relationship on how to do things like that when we haven't necessarily seen examples of it. You know, I haven't seen anybody like talk things out, or I've never seen really like a couple get back together or something like that, besides like Sam and Ronnie. But, you know, that was like the whole, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think they're together anymore.
Yeah, so
he's with someone else and they got pregnant or something. They're not together.
But that's what I'm saying. That Sam and Ronnie's your example of like couple goals, right? Growing up for myself, you know.
I didn't. My mom and dad weren't around. My
Same in
my
my
mom
home.
didn't date anybody, and my dad, like, I don't know, he was doing his own thing. By the time I was hanging out with my dad and my stepmom, they were arguing so much that I was just like, as I feel like as children, you go. Here's the thing. We think that staying together and that's why I went to watch this next movie with you. We think that staying together as a family is good, but because we're doing it for the children. But the children are like, why the fuck are you guys together? Because this is
The
stupid.
children get it. Like
I would
from
really
the
like to play
get-go.
video games without you guys yelling in the next room.
Yeah.
I know you think that the walls or something are soundproof, but they're not.
I remember saying like if my parents got divorced, I just felt like it would help. And like I was like in second grade, and I felt guilty for thinking something like that because divorce is bad. But is it bad if it's best for both parties and they're now happy? Or maybe they need space to figure it out. But like I was saying earlier, there is so much with this, like everyone being these separate units. There's so much pressure. It's ridiculous. If one does not stop and one is not like whole in themselves and then built off that foundation, then they're just doing things for all kinds of reasons. And then, I don't know, you find yourself hella lost. Because also things are changing. Like what once worked, it just doesn't work anymore. So.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what I'm seeing as consciousness change, and where we're making music, and what I'm really excited about as we get better every day and making music. Like we say, another one with the hits. Y'all are gonna see for sure. But soon for sure. You can check it out. What Are You Here For? Out now on your favorite platform, SoundCloud. But just like the toxic culture of relationships, because it's like interesting if we're single, right? And then we enjoy being single, and we also enjoy being in relationships. The interesting part is that we enjoy, like, we all know the cycle of like, all right, February is like wintertime, it's cuffing season, all that stuff. And then single time is in the summertime. Oh, I want to be free. I want to go out and have fun and this, and this, and this. So it goes, well, if both parties, like we talked about the Destiny's Child song, the club is jumping. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full of grown to own the rights. Fellas, leave your girl with her friends. It needs 7:30 in the club is jumping. Please don't sue me. Now, that's Destiny's Child, and whoever else owns the rights to that music. But I do own the right for this example because I'm helping you guys out, right? Because both parties want to do the same thing. You're like, ladies, leave your man at home. Like, yo, ladies, come on, let's go out and have some fun. Don't bring your man because y'all are gonna be up here, like, you know what I'm saying, being a drag. You know what I'm saying, right? And then, yo, fellas, let your girl go with her friends. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go to the club too, right? And then it would just be, I want to watch the video because if they didn't end up in the same club, that's just a plot point that they could have, but they might have hit it. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But we all want the same thing, right? We want the security of, like, having a close relationship, but we want the freedom of what it's like being single. Now, what's interesting is if you're able to put freedom with the community aspect and combine both of them, you can get, let's say, instead of ghosting everybody, right? And we're so used to like the ghost culture of, all right, you meet somebody, you have a fun night, fun week, whatever it is, and then you move on. Or you're what, like Larry David said, right? Where it's like, oh, I waited 4 months to make a move, And it's like, all right, now we're two people who are just like taking so long to even,
they're so afraid of even making moves that they prolonged them for so long, and they're even frustrated because it's not the fact that they wouldn't want to find someone else attractive. They're what we said about like the whole going hiking thing. If I were to find this person attractive, I would then hold myself to a standard of maybe even talking to this person. You know, you see someone attractive and you go, blah, 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 blah. When in reality, it's like, oh, how would I talk to this person? You know, they're attractive. What do. Or like we said, oh, I'm in a relationship. We can't hang out. So I wouldn't even, if he were to say Mary's attractive and then we're like, oh yeah, Mary and I are going to the movies, and then also had the pants thing, you know, if all that happened, it would be like, all right, you can no longer hang out with Mary and I'm going to talk to her. And I would want a letter of apology. They love letters of apology on.
I think it was the time. That's why sometimes I say I'm going to write a letter, because that was like a thing. That was
definitely a thing. They didn't have text and stuff.
Strongly worded letter.
A strongly worded letter. Signed. That's just, I mean, that's cool. I appreciate things like that. So that's what's different, because now you have community and you also have, you know, like freedom, you know, and the ability to expand. And that's what I think, what we don't even realize with like ghosting culture and blocking culture and just not dealing with our emotion culture, that we could have so much more if we actually work through things. And like Dahmer didn't have to drug anybody. You are already, if you already got the people to come back, you already could have had your connections.
He could have had hella community.
Yeah,
because he was like, if he was like you said, an attractive person, and like he was just exploring his sexuality, and there was a whole culture for that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but then it goes with the control thing, and that becomes a result of all the other things going on. And that's where, you know, I think that's where we, you know, reflect on ourselves of going like, oh shit, like, you know, how does this reflect towards me? You know, you know, if your scales aren't balanced, like if you don't have any control at work, you're going to want to find control in another aspect, right? So that's where, like, even in a relationship, like, so now for us being on, you know, working through everything through this whole time, right? The more we're on like this relationship where we're able to communicate and be heard and this, that, and the other, we're not going to look to communicate and be heard in necessarily other places, right? For instance, streaming, right? If I felt like with my family, they don't understand what I'm saying with tarot, right? And that's people didn't understand tarot when I'm starting these things. Tarot wasn't where it is now, you know? So I'm streaming a lot more. I'm holding myself to this old standard of like, oh, snaps, I picked up my phone and that was my sense of community. That was my sense of family. Now, the fact that, you know, we have the Freewater family, things change a little bit because you're actually in it, you know? So now my need or want, desire for streaming, hey, what's going on? Go down because we're already hanging out, you know, like we're already vibing out, you know, and having a good time and maybe going on an adventure, some shit, might be on a jet ski, something crazy like that. Who knows? Do I want to go, oh, I'm not going to do jet skis because I'm having fun. And then to bring it back to what we said earlier about the parent thing, because we start making those decisions though when we're younger, because we go, oh, my friends are on jet skis, let me go to work because I have to take care of my family, right? We start making those decisions, and
oh, I have to be, I have adult things. I have to pay for college. I have to do this. I have to do that. Boom, 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 boom. But we remember every time we make a decision like that, it sits in our heart for like ever, Like we remember the time where we didn't go to the party because, we had to go to work and we chose to be responsible and da 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 da.
Yeah, you get used to compromising yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you've been doing it for so long until you get like you do, and that's why things like I said in the beginning, this path, like unless you're down to make some changes, don't even entertain it because you will feel things. And to go back to the heart space thing, this is all kind of happening to kind of get that gunk out, to have your heart space open, to have your chakras aligned, because you're going to find that every shortcoming you have is, or every experience where you're not exactly there yet, it's a beautiful experience because you're reflected. Like you said, the things we notice about others, it's telling us something about ourselves. Like you and I can both sit here, even looking from the same space, and you might be like, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful! Look at these flowers, like da, 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 whatever." And I could be like, "Ugh, mosquitoes. The sun's in my eye. It's so humid. I'm gonna go inside." And the importance is to be cool. Like as we go through all this, I feel like things are changing, and you might do the same thing, maybe even wanting the result of the past or to feel a certain way, but nothing other than what's really in your heart of hearts is gonna get you there. And when you are there, it's like a peace. That's where the true freedom is, because you know that wherever you go, you're in the flow, you know yourself. You attract other beings that are like this. And that's why I know we're going to attract amazing people who are going to be part of the team moving forward, who are down to have fun and just like enjoy this human experience. And the broad spectrum of things, we're not here for that long. So let's take some pictures. Let's have some fun. It's all been done before. We're just here to experience it in our own unique way. And the more we allow ourselves, like, when we were at that one Airbnb with Maria, she said, if you love Quartz, you love him exactly as he is. And I was like, it was such a resounding comment, because that is like everyone. If we truly love each other, I'm not going to try to make you into a morning person. I'm not going to try. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to feel your best or feel whatever you're feeling and share this human experience with you. But I'm not trying to make you into another me. And you are your own. That's why, like, now I bring into a lot of our conversations a human design. And I'm like, hey, like, you actually function like this. And the more you function the way you function, and the way I function, the more I can function the way I function, at our heightened, we're on a frequency where we didn't have, and it's like a lot of trusting, because we're trusting off the energy and not in the past where maybe we learned we need time and experience. Like, I used to have this, it's a little, I don't want to say fucked up because I'm not going to judge myself, but I used to have this like feeling, and I don't know if I learned it from a movie or whatever, but like you had to go through shit with someone to kind of like establish a bond or like prove yourself.
Yeah, trauma bonding type thing. Like they go through an adventure,
Yeah. So, like now, or there's just different ways to learn. Like I said earlier, hitting your head against the wall or whatever versus, hey, you can Google it, or you can sit and think about it for a moment. And then you can even go ask someone who's already done it, since everything's already done before. And then that's a good reason to study history, is to learn from the patterns. And if there is warning, there's opportunity. That's something else that I used to feel like warning or a sign. that was like against my path, I would feel so resistant against it. And now I'm like, there's opportunity there.
It's like if like your gas light comes on and you're like, oh, you're saying that I'm not gonna make it to where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you. And it's like, no, I'm helping you get there. We just need to, put some more gas up in there. And then we end up running out of gas in between gas stations, and then you end up not making it because we're ignoring the signs, not taking the time to pull over, and doing what you need to do to accomplish what it is that you want to. And that's what I feel like it was a big lesson, was just like, all right, we're doing so much, but then a lot of times we're just like frailing our arms, and not going places, or having the opportunities and not learning all the lessons from them. So then they keep coming up in different ways. But then that's where like reflecting is going, whoa, like with the Grant Taylor thing of, sure, we could get everything first try. We can land, or every relationship, every conversation, every stream, every picture, this, and this. And I feel like with the camera thing, like if we were to take a picture and it wasn't right, instead of being like, okay, well, we know how to make things right, let's just do it. It was more like, why are things not right, and being upset. And then kind of the past coming up of, all right, now this is validating my past experiences that can create my current truth. But in reality, like, let's say the car getting towed, all right, this happened. All right, what do we need to do, in order to do it? All right, learning from our past experiences and listening, we can do things a lot quicker. If we want to,
or efficiently, without like going through all the emotions.
Is there, it's gotta be like a hole or something in there.
A what?
A hole. Or it keeps dripping on me. Whatever. I'll put it in a glass. Ericito, thanks for joining the stream, buddy. We're doing what we can out here. I was kind of thinking about, like the Everglades, and being like all the things manifested there, and I guess having the opportunity to like truly heal from everything through, pretty much it coming out in the open, Otherwise, it felt like kind of like what we talked about, these communities of like, all right, we're suppressing everything and we're putting on, it's not even necessarily an image. We're spending more time in our fun side, right? And less
like
time.
That's private.
Yeah, that's private versus like, fuck it, it's in the open now. Like, how are we healing from it? And now going, of course, why are you the world's best psychic? Because instead of us like just hiding in a room telling everybody what to do out of like slick a control thing, it's like, yo, how are we applying this? Like, how are we actually turning these lessons and these downloads from these fucking moons and aspects and all that stuff? How is it affecting our life? And how are we actually choosing the other option? Because we're so used to choosing, let's say, argue and run away and this and that and all this stuff, and we're used to choosing that option. We're already ready in it. It's like you have your foot you're like in the water. You know, like you're jumping off a cliff, but like instead of jumping, you jump 1 foot off and then you keep 1 foot on, and then now you didn't commit to either, and there's nothing good coming out of that situation. Like you're about to now tumble down the cliff, and then you're going to tell yourself, oh, I should have never jumped. But in reality, if you're going to jump, jump. You know, if you're not, then that's okay too. But
Just
when
be at peace with whatever the hell it
Yeah.
is you want. That exactly. That's what I was saying about the, like, this path. If you're gonna go down it, then be ready, because once you know things and you feel things, it's like once we've had like some sexual experiences, you can't recreate it, and then there's always like, now there's like room for expansion. Like you've had a taste of more, and then it's just like, I'm sure you feel like that with skateboarding. Like
that's like the drive.
you want you're like, okay, that's how I am with the ocean. Everywhere I go, I have this like unwritten rule, and like with running, I love to explore new places. I don't know anything. There's something so exciting, especially like being in the woods. I'm like, I don't know if there's a bear, if there's like Jeffrey Dahmer, I don't know what the fuck, or Shamar Moore, he might be around the corner. You never know who is hiking in the woods. And the oceans, like there's just this feeling, and we all feel it towards something, right? But when we want something in life, or the more we care, we have gotten accustomed to compromising ourselves, our true selves, like how Jeffrey couldn't communicate what he wanted to his dad. I know I can, just like in the blink of an eye, as I resonate on this energy, I see all these like moments where if I just stepped into my power and did the damn thing, you know, but it's a process and we learn. And then like when we ask for more, allow yourself to receive it, because the closed chakra thing is a real thing. I think that's the biggest, if we want to say epidemic, or the biggest like whatever, the closed chakra, because it's all here, like you said, spirit's like, yeah, I'm here chilling. Like you guys are just literally creating all this, like, for what? You guys could be chilling, like creating art, doing what you want in a community. No one said that we have to raise children like this. No one said that we have to eat food with plastic in it. Now the animals have plastic. No one said that. That was just a way that has been done. And here we have the freedom to say, we can do it another way. We can do it a way that makes sense even. Like, you know when you walk into someone's house and they do something ridiculous and you go, but why? Like, there's just and they're stuck in their own thing, so you're just like, whatever, I don't live here. But guess what? We live here. We all live here together. So let's make it make sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's getting to about 222 on the podcast. So I just want the... Still getting a 222 energy.
Yeah, it's about to be 222 on the time also.
Oh, shit. Sick. Wow. What a vibe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is like you said, watching the Dahmer thing, when you're in this frequency, it's not like a fear thing and like all that. Or
judgment.
Yeah, we're here to learn, and like I guess that's the thing where people be like, "Oh, you're supporting Dahmer." No one said that. If it was up to me, that nigga, if I was in the community and I already knew what was going on, we would have been riding on niggas, right? But that's what the whole story is about, like a community that's underdefended, underrepresented, you know, people are afraid of to even help, you know, people can go in and take advantage of. And, you know, that we learn from these experiences to, you know, like I get my own drink. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all these things that.
But also, I feel like we're all so afraid of our own shadow self or the other aspects of ourselves that like we're to the rate where he's like maybe demonized or monsterized instead of being understood, because everything's a reflection. And I think that's why you know, one can hold that perspective. But also Curb Your Enthusiasm.
So
we
funny.
watch them like
So funny. Which one's more awkward to watch? That's the question.
I mean from this perspective, because like now learning photography and whatever, like how we're learning on the go, I'm just taking it in from various perspectives, like, you know what I mean? As someone who wants to make a show, you know, see things different. So you can watch old shows and like learn for different reasons. And that's the other cool thing about, I realized this, our friend from Mexico,
Aileen?
she asked me like, oh, when are you gonna go to Mexico? Da, da, da. And like my whole life I've been about traveling. I've always had my passport. I've never not had my passport. And when I met you, that's like all I ever said was, where are we going? Like, when are we leaving? When are we leaving? Like, I'm over the, like, I'm ready to go.
Damn.
Let's go. There's adventure. You know, like Aries out of the,
Yeah, I'm chilling in
out of the
mansion.
trailer. Like,
he asked, can we go out? Can.
yeah, right?
Damn. See, these are real lines here, people.
Yeah, that's why I like your music.
Yeah, man.
This camera.
This camera. Tell the people what you want.
Maybe we should put all the cameras kind of here so then we can just be more natural.
Then you just look at the laptop. It works.
True. Oh, Alana.
Hey. Yeah, there we go.
Meeting cool
Much
people
love.
in cool places.
Cool people, cool places.
No, I had something I wanted to say. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Dahmer, the energy. Help us out, people. Help us out, people.
What did I just say? Oh, whatever.
Ugh.
If it's important, you let it go.
Yeah,
and
I'll
then
come
it'll
back. I'll come back. But thank you guys. We want to say thanks. This is cool, I'd say. Stream in a cool little area. Yeah. Again, we apologize for the internet speeds.
No, the vibes are high. This is a real
Vibes
thing.
are high.
As we are energetic beings, and as our hearts actually open more and more, it's been documented by science, so you can look it up on whatever you deem credible.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
Ask Jeeves.
using you know, I love you because you're like, we gotta stay tapped into the streets, and then you say things like that. Well, I guess you show how cultured you are.
Well, that's what's funny is because we will. What the fuck is Ask Jeeves?
Oh, you asked about, okay, now I remember. So she asked me, when are we going to Mexico?
Oh yeah, see,
And
boom,
said,
I win because I bring the word ass back. Word swings.
And you asked she asked when we're going to Mexico, and I was like, I just realized in a moment how much my whole life I've been wanting to not be here, and I wanted to travel because I thought something magical was going to happen wherever the hell else I was. But the more present you are, the more everything happens in front of you. Things can come to you, and it is not to say you don't ever have to leave. It's just like people are their own worlds. If you're really present with the person, like your upbringing your whole life experience is only unique to you. I could spend a whole lifetime, and then we could even talk about like energy and whatever the hell, or not, because at the same time we're energy, we can just vibe. But the more we get to know people, it's just more I'm just more fascinated. I guess I've changed my focus into, I've traveled. It's cool. I love it. I'm not going to like say I don't want to do it. But even now, I'm like happy discovering Florida or discovering the Carolinas. I never knew. I did not know. I like had full on believed all the media of travel, leave, this and that, da da da. For what? Like, you have crystals here. You have jungle. You know, like, you know, it's funny. She was saying how like the beach and the jungle.
And I tell people that all the time, and so I don't think I told you this story, but I said it on my live. But I go out and we're at the spot, the after hour spot or whatever like that, and this guy comes up to me and I say something, you know, introduce himself. I introduce myself. I said, and he's like, "Oh, you from the West Coast?" And I'm like, "No, like I just travel, so I might say something from Oakland. I might say something from Minnesota, you know. Yeah. Don't you know? You know, like I love the Wisconsin guy. We love watching his videos. He's so funny because after you go to Wisconsin, it's just so fucking hilarious. You're just like, I like going to, and when I go to Wisconsin, I have my little accent for a little bit, and then I come back.
It comes out sometimes.
It comes out.
When you talk to Aries.
Yeah, don't you know? 80-year guy, like, you know, like. It's just cute stuff. So either way, the guy's like, "Oh, so you've been out of the country? You've been to Thailand? You've been here? I've been here, and this, and that." I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, I thought you traveled." And I was like, "I mean, what's your definition of traveling? Like, I live in my van, you know, like."
You left your hometown. That's.
Yeah, like. And that's the thing I learned through traveling through America, where it's like what you were saying is once you become more present, because I'm not saying that I'm never going to leave this space. What I'm saying is that it's so much to see, and I'm so amused and grateful by Florida and connecting with people more, and each time I'm connecting with more and more people, and that makes me happy. And then let's say you said you're bringing up the Carolinas. We meet Robert. Yo, I told him about the drone. He's got the hiking spots with the cliffs. It's like, oh, I want to go do that. We still haven't been to D.C. together. So it's like, dang, I still want to go to D.C. and do that. We didn't go to Maine where people said pull up. Colorado, they said pull up.
There's so
West
much.
Coast,
I haven't
Texas.
Seen like 75% of this country probably. Or maybe more.
Utah is you tight. Seeing all.
Oh my God, the stars.
Missouri, goddamn Montana. Shouts out the Billings.
And there's more crystals, you know? And creatures. Oh,
there's crystals everywhere. And
it's just, I feel like it goes to
shouts
show
out to Franklin.
Places, there's always going to be a sunrise, there's going to be a sunset. Nature will surprise and delight you. But truly, when there's like moments with people, like you can't, if you had all the money in the world, you cannot buy that moment with that person. It's just cherishing that more and not being afraid to be like, yo, let's explore this. Because we're feeling things. You know, it doesn't mean whatever the fuck happened in the past is going to happen. Just be open to all the possibilities and opportunities in the moment.
Yeah, and then when you do that, it's just like super sick. And I feel like when I was traveling before and I was just trying to move just to move, right? Shouts out to the Babies In Movers, right? Oh, Kurt. It was to prove something to somebody. Oh, I'm trying to go here because, you know, and here, and I need to travel here and do this, and I want to do all these things. And then, you know, like you said, you start fucking making relationships and hanging out with people, and then it's like, oh, I'm going at a new pace, you know. And it's interesting because we tend to see so much more, like when we do is. So here's the thing, as slow as we move is crazy, because then there's people who are like, oh, I've been in Florida for 3 years, and we can literally write a whole essay about all the different beaches just on this part of Florida. Right, we can talk about all the different beaches before 50th Street. You know, like all the different dog parks, which one to go to when it's raining, which one to go to when it's not raining. You know, like, don't go there because the dog's going to get all muddy and all that stuff. Okay, this is a sunny spot. It has a good lake there. Okay, this is a spot where you can go and get the dog's bath after. All right, this spot is next to a skate park. This skate park is like this. This beach is sand. It's like this. Like, we were at that one beach, and we picked up the sand, and it was like a bunch of different shells. And then you go to Jacksonville, the beaches were white, you know, and things of that nature. So, like, what's interesting is, like, the tortoise and the hare motion is when you're moving just to move, like, you kind of, you don't even know, you want to go so fast. Are you really paying attention to your environment? And then 2, are you going to give yourself enough energy to not burn out and make it to the end, you know? Because that's when I start talking about, like, the crayon game in Mario Party, when you're supposed to follow. You have, like, this crayon, a big crayon, you follow a path, and you get a percentage for how much of the path you stay on with the controller. So, and go straight through the path and get to the end, but it's going to say, oh, you didn't really follow the path, and this is how much percentage you got out of life, you know, or the mini game. I'm using it as a life example. So what if we slow down? And that's the thing. Quartz, why do you always win this game? Because I just go as slow as possible. So here's the part of the screen, right? Let's say you're supposed to go this side. Everyone stays on this side of the screen because you're trying to be like the first one. I stay in as far back as possible, going as slow as possible, so I can get the most amount of, you know, each movement that I'm making. And that's, like, the difference when, you know, we're kind of, like, moving so fast through life, and we might have even acquired all these physical things, and we might have went to all these physical places, but let's say we stopped in Hawkinsville and we got the Big Monty's, you know, it's their best burger, you know, like, we have that memory where in the same day we could have just drove right through, you know, and not stopped. So we made this memory, we got this, we played with the GoPros, we went to Hobby Lobby when we could have stopped. We could have not stopped, you know, we could have kept driving and all that stuff. And sure, we would have made it to our destination a little bit earlier for us to fall asleep, you know, or, you know, hang out and sit in the trailer. But we're making the most out of our days and getting so much out of it that we're going to get to wherever the hell we're going to go. It's just we're enjoying it.
There's always going to be another destination.
Always.
There's always a new accolade, a new goal, a new video game, another shoe. There's always going to be something, whatever. There's a whole world to explore, and now they're traveling to the moon and beyond. So, you know,
breathe. We gotta go. Woo! Yeah, fam's back in town. Feels good. Feels good. Much love. Heart, face, eyes. I like that. Boom, boom. That can be our thing. We gotta come up with our little thing when we're on stage. Throw the hearts up. I'll be like, throw the dubs up. You know, throw that dub up. Throw that water up. Hey, love you too. Radiating love, spreading love. I'm stoked because I don't know, it just feels good. Now this is what I was talking about. Like with streaming 8 hours, you know. If we were doing this straight big chilling, you know, we'd be whatever. You know what I'm saying? People give us things to react to and talk about and all that shit. It's just the thing about, I guess, that is that we're doing something else. And that's why I enjoy streaming. I enjoy learning from them because of the ability to, you know, make a stream entertaining. Luna's hair looks amazing. Boom, 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 boom. We're counting coupons, so you're getting some coupons there. Yeah. Ooh. Right. But like, let's say learning the fact that we have the GoPros, we have these different cameras, we have the Rodecaster, we have the fact that we're recording this straight to YouTube, so I don't have to record this on the GoPro, match it with the audio, and then upload it to YouTube, which is going to take like freaking an eternity, right? So it's like all these different things where when you're not comparing yourself to people, like in a way of like, oh, I need to do everything that they're doing. It's like, all right, let's say with the music people, with streaming people, with, let's say, people in the spiritual communities, us learning from everybody to fit you know, or myself is, I feel, what, you know, makes me happy, and where it's like even hard to like process for ourselves, because if, let's say, we're at a job and we're trying to be like everyone else there, you know, and then we go to the party, we're trying to be like everyone else at the party, you know, when in reality, you might like this person's shoes, you might like this person's hat, you might like this top, and if you put it all together, that's your style, and then people might be like, yo, you're wearing that wrong, you know, why are you wearing those shoes with that outfit? Like, if you wore some Doc Martens with a dress, like, and people be like, you know, what the fuck? You know, now it's kind of like a look, but, you know, before, people be like, you know, I can imagine the first person to do that. You're not wearing, you know, heels with your dress. You're wearing Doc Martens. What the fuck? You know, that's crazy. But it's like, yo, I might like your dress. I might like dresses, you know. But I also want to rock these boots, shawty, you know. And I feel like that's where we, you know, can win in life, when you just take a little bit own thing, which is your own flavor, instead of trying to recreate someone. And then a lot of times that recreation doesn't work, so then we recreate ourselves again. And that's how you see us go through like phases in life, where it's like, oh, this is my goth phase. This is, yeah, you're following the trends.
Or you never saw it before. Like, many times when women come out, you see it in the music industry, they just mimic the men instead of having their own way of doing it.
And then there's free water. Bam, bam, bam. We're gonna do it. We're gonna figure it out. Well, figure out.
But you know, through all of that, you went through the experience of starting with the phone and then the other camera, and you slowly added on. And I feel like the more you just get comfortable with the fact that this is a process, and that's what tarot teaches you, where you are in that process. Some days you're at the beginning, and some days you got the world, you know, and it's just, there's no wrong or right. You're just in whatever process, and at any time, we're multifaceted beings. Don't you love how I feel like this plant is just playing with my hair. Have you seen the videos of the plants? They move when they talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's the beautiful thing. You taught me that about tarot. We're multifaceted beings, so you could be a novice at Espanol, and then like expert at this, and it's not just, you know, like it's just cool when you let yourself be humbled enough to be teacher and student in any given moment. So you know enough to know you can figure out in the moment. You might not have you don't have all the information, you don't have all the perspectives.
Well, that's what being a master is, and I feel like that's one of a big thing where I feel like for myself, like feeling that pressure in like a leadership role, whether it's self-implied or out or externally, of like knowing everything, and then, you know, but being a master is not knowing everything and knowing you don't know everything, but knowing how to learn, knowing how to listen, knowing how to find information. You know,
Listen.
and
that's the chakra, the heart chakra. That one guy, everyone wanted to work with him. Everyone did.
I'm just like, shut up, dude.
In the beginning. And then he literally was like, no, because he was only open to his one way of receiving. And they were like, dude, you really need to listen. And we do that all the time. The universe is trying to communicate with us and give to us and give us opportunity. And I don't know what the fuck we're doing. But it's just like, hey, at any given moment, you can take a breath and be like, okay, let me see this in a different way. Let me try something different, you know? So.
What's that?
We're almost done 3 hours.
Yeah, and the music just stopped. What's happening? Boom. There we go.
I'm grateful that we're here together in this space.
Yeah, this is cool. Well, year worth of podcasting. I feel like it was like the accumulation of the year, and then we talked of the lessons that we learned. It's like fast forward. I feel like if you want to see
there's
see
so
everything.
many lessons though, because as you continue,
you gotta watch the show.
You get to
We can announce that.
you get to, what's it called? It's like you get to unwrap the gifts. And as we all collectively, this is the beautiful thing. When you make an internal shift and you put in the love to you, it's reflected, and then like amazing things happen in relationships that you thought were once forever gone. And you get to reap all the, like, there's just so much to look forward to once you start on this path. So, yeah, I feel like whenever there's anything in question, just give yourself the love you need. Give yourself whatever it is you need in that moment, and then you kind of figure it out from there.
Words of wisdom. Give yourself what you need at that moment. I say we need a little break.
Yeah.
A little break or 10.
Everything, all the batteries are like.
Yeah, we got this phone going
It
out.
was nice to get, back into it. And then I feel like the show's going to be awesome with a lot more interviews and a lot more.
Yeah, this is the late morning show. The best late morning show.
And different artists.
Mm-hmm. We're getting back into it, guys. For sure. Thank you for tuning in on Instagram, YouTube. Again, thank you for tuning in and seeing our cool little effects. Tune in December 2nd. We're dropping. I'm not going to do a date. I'll take that date back. I'm going to say we're dropping the episode soon. I would like December 2nd, but
the episode?
Yeah,
or
the episode.
You could definitely drop the episode.
I know we could drop the episode December 2nd, but you
are talking
never
about
know.
The music project?
Oh, the music project. That's another time. For sure. That would be later.
Yeah.
Yep. But soon. Let's just say soon. I'm dropping everything soon.
Pronto.
Most likely next week. We're holding ourselves to that standard. But life happens, but that's what we're working on and getting through. Start providing episodes on a weekly basis.
You know what I think it is?
Huh?
Like, to cut straight to it. There's like a certain amount of self-worth placed on productivity, when in reality, just by existing. And I feel like I know that like men are like driven with this thing of like productivity and produce and provide. And like the biggest part of receiving is just allowing and being. And like having your non-negotiables. Like, okay, I know what the important thing is for me is that we continue this, we build off this vibe of harmony and peace and love, and like the productivity will happen. So Like, it's okay to be like, this is my goal, like you said, and then be flexible to life. But that's not, whether it happens or not, my vibe is not going to drop. Type thing. My worth is not entangled in whether or not if I release anything ever again. I am, just by being and existing and breathing. It.
Ooh. I got charged up in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about just existing. I was like, shit, let me just exist for a second. Do that in the sun. Just like, whoa. You ever see someone do that on a talk show or something? Someone just like...
That's what the reptiles do. That's what you were talking about, the reptile energy. Just letting...
Lizard pimp.
Existing and receiving. That's what they do. You don't see nature working 24/7. That's not... Well, that's not our thing.
Yeah, they be resting for sure, too.
Yes.
For sure. We got the clear sun, you know. It's fucking awesome. MIA, as we're in MIA, the song's MIA. Yeah, speaking of the episode, probably should get the editing. Get the editing for you guys, and then we'll be streaming in between, but we really want to be consistent on what we can do, and that's providing our episodes to kind of, you know, you kind of see in the end, how did we get here? There was a lot of ups and downs, twist arounds,
Research and development.
R&D, as we call it in business for sure.
I
yeah,
mean,
these are terms
it's a
you
lot of
learn,
life
kids.
lived. A lot of life lived, and we're choosing
Learn
love,
term R&D.
choosing love, and choosing to work together through it. And we appreciate your support and love through the times. So, spirit of the stairwell.
Oh, what's happening? Which stairwell? Is it a spiral stairwell? When I hear
course.
stairwell,
That's what I thought.
I think spirals.
Up to like a
Like not going back and forth. I think a whole ass spiral.
yeah, like lighthouse.
Yeah, for sure.
Do
There
you
you go.
concur?
Yeah, we want to know. But thank you guys for tuning in. I just want to see these screens real quick. So I'm going to do the be right back one. No, I don't have to do that. I can just press which ones. But I feel like I'd be lying if I said we'd be right back. No, especially when we're outside too. Like, fuck. This equipment. You never know in Miami. But it looks, we got clear skies. And wanted to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys. Check out the product. We have people from all over the world tune in. So that's awesome. So remember the logo. I'm so proud of this. We put our heart in this. You know, Rose is in this. The Aquarius logo's in this.
Everybody. Ever-flowing love.
The infinity, the universe, you know. It's so much in a small little, you know, a couple lines. You know, so but that's what you do with intention. You don't need, trust me, I had a super crazy logo before,
speak for itself,
and we put the energy in that bit, and now here we are. So we're putting the energy in each other. We want to say thank you guys for supporting the family through our ups and downs, and as we figure things out through the scientific method of a little bit too much spice.
Like the octopus.
Yeah.
The octopus, like animals are hella smart. Ravens, they use tools, and if it doesn't work, they then get another tool and try something different. What?
Yeah.
So us as humans, we can do that too, right?
Yeah. So
we can learn and try.
I like this. Also, we'll answer questions. We'll have people come in. We'll do like a.
We're gonna have people. Thing. We're gonna be doing interviews.
But you see the vision for the late morning show.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Each episode, people are seeing us progress and getting better through. You know, the fact I want to check the stream out, but we were streaming for 3 hours. The laptop was dying.
If there was food, I could keep going. But
frankly, for sure, we have to like Postmate the thing, and then we do a little mukbang for lunch. People go crazy. They would just want to see what we're eating.
Are you doing tarot readings?
That would be a segment in the show. You know?
No, I'm saying, like, are you offering private tarot readings?
Oh, I am offering private tarot readings. You can hit me up through DMs or email freewaterbooking@gmail.com. Working with any budget. So whatever your budget is, we'll find the right reading for you. You know, we want to help everybody and also helping ourselves. So
Yeah. Open to receive. If
open
you're
to
feeling
receive.
generous,
Yeah, are you feeling generous? We got a reading for you. You want to get the full depth, numbers, astrology.
or if you want to learn,
you want to
or if
learn,
you want to
be educated.
join the
The Teach a Man the
community.
Fish Discord. We're going to be, trust me, we've been through the healing process and we're ready to get back, but we're not going to hit the ground running. We're hitting the ground at a brisk, walk through the neighborhood, and we're going to pick up momentum as we go instead of trying to,
I love how the dogs, they're both here chilling with us off camera, but they're here.
They're here for sure. They got on camera a couple times for the YouTube for sure. So, thank you guys so much. And we're going to get off on Instagram, and that's why we're having the YouTube, the little extras. I'm going to show Luna these screens, and then we're going to start envisioning the future for sure. So until next time, love and light. Stay woke.
Bow, bow, bow. Hell yeah. Oh no, hace calor.
Yeah. I'm just gonna post it now without doing the thing.
Yeah, because it might not.
Yeah, that should.
And
It
then
might not make it. Huh? Yeah, you can edit it for later. All right, so now look at this. We're gonna do. This is our starting soon. This is our be right back screen. Pretty cool. They all kind of look the same, but it's sick. If we got to get one for like the jungle and stuff. That would make more sense. But see, this is like our intermission. This would like the chat come up. I don't know why the chat's not
It would be
coming up.
really cool. Can we like report something live? Like,
Yeah, you can report.
yo,
Well, that's my vision with the show. Is
you wanna
that
do, like a skit?
right now?
Something. What do you want to do?
Take a break. All right.
You know what I got?
What?
Remember the pumpkin cake from the vegan place?
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you guys. We're gonna vibe out and
Shout out to the pumpkin cake.
shouts out to the pumpkin cake and shouts out to Streamlabs, OBS, and YouTube for teaching and Andrea, Momo, for tuning in to our YouTube and commenting and showing love and thank you guys for subscribing and supporting our dreams. So until next time, there you go, folks. Free water forever.
Niggas be dope, trying like trying to see.